Greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man proudly presents Comic Book Talk with Friends. You already know what time it is, man. Great show tonight. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a show. We want to try something a little different tonight. We always talking about comics. We always talking about movies. But we got to talk about other inspirations and things that have been inspired by comics, such as video games. So this is what we're going to basically attack tonight. As you saw, top five video games of all time. Each of us basically have our own picks. I'm pretty sure everybody out there, you do as well. But yeah, this show's going to be dedicated to the digital world, the video games themselves. So yes, inspired by Mr. Vinny himself. So I'm going to basically let him kind of chat about it tonight because, pretty much I say, look, you take the steering wheel. We're just going to kind of collaborate and just go far and see where else we're going to go with it. But without further ado, though, let me just jump in and introduce the panel of individuals. Now, Jason will probably be here in a little bit. We're just waiting for him, but he'll be through. Don't worry. He's like always fashionably late for some reason. But when he's here, he's here. So anyway, without further ado, man, let's introduce the panel. Vinny, what's going on, brothers?
It's good, brother. Just been a crazy day. I start back to work, and for those who don't know, I run a landscaping company. So this winter, I've had a lot of free time to work on a lot of the art stuff and get other stuff done around the house. But tomorrow we'll be back to the old, the main JO. So I'm gonna be I've been gearing up for that all day, just making sure all the equipment is ready and all that good stuff, and just scheduling out my week and just getting all that stuff good to go. And then
Yeah.
other than that, just like looking forward to talking with you fine gentlemen and
Yeah.
talking some comic books and some comic book video games. So that should be definitely a interesting twist on the genre, which has so many different branches into pop culture.
Yeah.
And recently, I just finished up like a big monster art piece that I've been working on for like 2 or 3 weeks now.
Speaking of which,
So
yeah.
I finally
Speaking
got
of
that
which,
finished up. For those of you who are friends with me on IG or Facebook, I recently posted that today. And this piece that I just finished up is called Super Shack, and it is an homage to Ernie Barnes' famous Sugar Shack, which you might have seen on the credits for Good Times or the Marvin Gaye album cover. And what I did with that piece is just simply replaced all the patrons at the club with different black superheroes. I started that thought process a few years ago, and I just never took the time to sit down and go ahead and get it down on paper.
mm-hmm.
And the past few weeks, I was like, all right, enough is enough. I finally got to go ahead and do this. So, so I finally got it finished up this week and got it to the printers and got prints ready and all that good stuff. And so I'm kind of proud of this one. It took a lot of grinding to get it done. The original was a big 18 by 24 monster, so that was all watercolor. So it was a lot of waiting for layers to dry and then layers and layers and um, uh, like a lot of technical aspect to it too. And Ernie's original style is abstract, so I wanted to mesh that with mine. So it was a time consuming piece for sure. So, but I'm glad it's you know out of my head and onto paper. That always feels good when you have something like, as you know, as an artist, like as a creator, whenever you have an idea or something that you want to get out of your brain, it always feels better when it's laid down, and then you can move on to the next thing that is scratching to get out to. So yeah, that's been it.
Yo, I mean, it is definitely a homage, but it kind of, like I said, you said Marvin Gaye,
Hmm.
Ernie Barnes, of course, Camp Low,
Yes, indeed, Camp Low. I should
Camp
throw that out
Low
there too. Of course,
as
Camp Low.
well. Use it as well.
Hmm.
But it's an interesting take. It was dope about it. I mean, because the thing is, bro, I don't think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
I don't think anybody else has took a comic approach on it, have they?
No, never. I trust me. I looked because I wanted to make sure no one else had done it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't believe
I,
anybody else
I,
has actually taken this approach at
I
all.
spent a long time checking because there are some mashups with like this with like there is a superhero barbershop, but
Hmm.
that's the closest thing to something like this, and there's a superhero picnic. that's so I seen those pieces, but I had not seen a, a twist on Sugar Shack. So so I had been a few years ago when I thought of it, I was like, I could call it Super Shack and just throw in as many people as I can think of, and then each pose I thought of who would fit that pose. So I had to think of like who would be dancing with who would be, you know, who would be where. Like for instance, up at in the original piece, up at the top on the balcony on the right is like a woman who caught her husband drinking at the club. She got her hands crossed and everything, and he's just drinking oblivious. So I switched that out with instead of a husband, it being um, Isaiah's grandkid with Miles there with the Spidey sense going off because he was busted, sneaking into a club. Stuff like Luke Cage, like the original, that shirt was a yellow and jeans. I was like, all right, that looks like it would be Luke Cage. And I switched out the man singing with Cyborg with his mic. So basically, I just tried to turn every different pose into something that would correlate. And like Blade, the stance that he had was like as if he was holding his sunglasses while he's dancing, like the famous opening scene from the original film. So I just went through and the conceptually it was just as much of a challenge as the actual technical part of getting it down on paper. So it's fun. It was time consuming and a little nerve rattling, but it was fun. You should see like the pages I have for diagramming and thumbprinting this out. It looks like like a scene from First 48, all the different ideas and stuff, just like drastically sketched out. But it was fun, man. Glad I got it done. Appreciate all the kind of comments, everyone. All right. Enough about me.
Yeah, it's this basically needs to be like a it's definitely like a canvas piece, bro.
So there's a company that prints whatever you want on canvases, and 2 weeks ago I got in the Millennium Falcon and Vision on the canvas, and they look great. So
yeah,
I ordered a few more the other day, including this piece. So when it comes in, I'm gonna see how it looks, and I might offer those up in the shop too. And so I'll post about those as long as they look good. I want to check it and make sure that it passes.
Yeah.
Passes for me, and then but yeah, definitely that's something in the future I'll be offering as canvas or oversized prints, because it's tough to see all the detail. Well, the bigger it is, the more appreciation you can put into the detail. Like the original is 18 by 24, and I can't imagine if I did the original the size that the prints are. So
well, it's definitely a good piece, man. Like,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
This really, I mean, for anybody who knows anything about the Sugar Shack, bro, because we've had, it's been filtered out basically through the culture in general, so many times.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, and like you said, there's never been a take on it this way.
It's such a culturally relevant piece. Like, if you grew up in a black household, you knew this piece.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Hell yeah.
Simple as that. You either had it on your wall, an aunt had it on her wall, an uncle had it on their wall, somebody in your family had it, or you seen it every week when you watch Good Times, or you seen it on your dad's Marvin Gaye cover, or your big brother's Camp Low cover. Like, this piece is just synonymous.
Yeah. I mean, it's the most popular, one of the most popular pieces for the culture, bro. Like,
absolutely,
when you see it. So, I mean, it can't, it's never unrecognizable when you. I mean, no matter who you are, you've seen this piece before. But to see it this way, bro, like, definitely, yeah, that's brilliant.
I appreciate it.
That's definitely brilliant. Everybody out there in the chat, come on, man. Shout out Vinny on this piece. Pretty much, again, Vincent Dunn Art. Go to his Instagram page. You'll probably see it there. Again, store information is there as well, so you want to take a look at it. So, yeah, man, this piece is it's fire, bro. Like, I love it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's incredible.
Appreciate it, man.
That's definitely incredible. Love that. Let me address the chat real quick, and then we'll definitely go in and see what we actually got popping. And see how this is basically going to work out. Before we do that, though, Riley, Mr. Bucky Naked, all day, every day, brother. What you got going on, man? What you been doing all week, man? I mean, I know you had a lot jumping off though, but what's popping?
Yeah, I just had a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes lately, and I just kind of took a break this last week, so I was kind of MIA for most of the time, just kind of clearing my head and just trying to relax a little bit, spend some time with family.
Yeah.
My cousin just had her first baby, so that was cool. I'm just kind of relaxing, reading a lot of books. Last week was a really good week for stuff coming out of Marvel, specifically the fifth issue of the 6-part Devil's Reign was crazy. It was awesome. And then the Moon Knight last week was insane. The Moon Knight Devil's Reign tie-in, and then the Moon Knight like actual issue, like the latest issue. Both of those were, I think, some really kind of vintage style Moon Knight storytelling. So those were a lot of fun to read. And then the first issue of this new Punisher series. I know a lot of people were concerned about it. Like, what are they doing with the logo? Is it going to be watered down? Man, this book is not watered down. It was a really good first issue. I dug it a lot. And I think I think there's gonna be some big ramifications coming out of this book for like the next year or so. So I really enjoyed that. I got kind of blamed and poked fun at a little bit in Jetta's video that he put up earlier tonight because there's a piece that I had been wanting to pick up for a while, and once it went on sale, or once it went up for pre-order, I knew that it was going to be going up for pre-order. I told him about it. Son of a bitch actually got his in today. Mine doesn't get in until tomorrow, so screw him. But it's the signed Alex Ross CGC 9.8 graded Detective Comics 1000. So pick that up. It sold out in about 4 minutes. I just was lucky enough that I was waiting for the email saying, okay, it's up, it's ready, but I just went on the website a couple minutes early and they had it up, bought that thing, got it, boom, 4 minutes later, sold out. So I'm pretty psyched for that piece that's coming in tomorrow. I have a lot of Alex Ross pieces, so that's another one to add to the collection, so I'm super psyched for that. But again, screw you, Ryan, for getting yours in the day before me. That's
that Alex Ross, he's okay.
I think he's going to do okay for himself.
I think he's doing all right.
I think he might, break even.
He's got potential.
In his career. Yeah. He's not too bad.
That's the thing. Is like, it's crazy because we actually live in a world where artists such as especially on Alex Ross's caliber, bro. Can really, really be appreciated the way he is. You know what I mean? Like, he's taking comics, bro. Like, that man,
he didn't use it as a springboard to become a real artist. He stuck with comics his whole career. It's dope.
It's what he always wanted to do, and he's made such a name for himself and such a great living doing it that he never had to go out to anything else. But it just, guys like him. It's where, so like, if you look at if you look at like the old school comic book artists of the 50s, 60s, 70s, they're not going to get as much kind of respect and from comic book fans they will, but they're not going to get as much respect and appreciation from larger kind of non like hardcore comic fans because it's very, it doesn't look like. It's one of those things where almost like some people are like walk into an art museum or something and be like, wait a minute, they just splashed some paint on. I could do that. Like, they look at that kind of art style from back in the day as more kind of childlike because of the styles of comic books back then. Whereas now there's a lot more photorealism, or there are a lot of other different kind of styles like the, Lee Bermejos and the Alex Rosses and, And so I think that Alex Ross is one of those guys who really caught on because of that photorealism in his work. And that's kind of what transcended what people kind of traditionally thought of as comic book art into something that's like, oh, wait a minute, okay, this is impressive. And so yeah, that's one of the reasons I always like that kind of like photorealism, almost or not almost, a lot of times it is painting, like, in comic books. One of the things that the early things that grabbed me was the Extremis, the artwork in the Extremis graphic novel for Iron Man that Warren Ellis wrote back in the day. So when you see that stuff, and Alex Ross just, I love his stuff. I've got, Daredevil pieces and Spider-Man pieces and Iron Man and Avengers and Batman and stuff. I just absolutely love his work. And I think he's one of those guys that brings a lot of shine and a lot of respect to the comic book medium as like an art medium.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely, like I said, I mean, he's taking it to a level, whereas, it stands on its own, where like when you see an Alex Ross piece, it's Alex Ross.
Oh yeah, there's no question.
No question about it. And it's something that can't even, it's so unique because it can't be emulated, because he's put so much, time and effort into, just creating quality pieces. He's well respected across the community. Also just, I mean, man, come on, man. It's like, I remember, like, one of the first pieces, I'm actually pulling this up. Like, I have actually this piece that I think I got this back in Australia at the, it was, what was it called? It was called Supernova. It was basically that's their Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. And I managed to actually get this piece, and it's actually signed. Let me pull this up real quick if I can find it. Yeah, this Storm piece.
Yeah.
I had this piece. It was such an amazing piece. Just like seeing it on, print wise. But yeah, I managed to get this at, Supernova, and it was around the time. It was crazy because, like, he didn't realize how much of an influence he was, across the world. I remember going to King's Comics in Sydney at the Liverpool shopping center. It was right around the corner from it. And he was just taking a tour around just Australia, going to different comic book shops, signing books. There's also Big Comics in Sydney. There was a couple of different comic book shops, like one of the main, spots and stuff like that. But he was surprised at like how many people like really gravitated to his work. And it's like everybody said the same thing, was like, well, you're Alex Ross. You know what I mean? Like, why are you so surprised? But it just, just how humble he is. But he is like really, 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 attached to his work. And, really takes it a lot, takes it serious. So
yeah, you check out his YouTube channel when he like goes into like in depth about all the pieces that he's creating. Like he did a lot of pieces, a lot of YouTube videos around like the timeless covers from the mural that he did from Marvel. I mean, his stuff is just next level. I absolutely love his work. And it's just a testament too. I mean, his stuff, like, I buy all my stuff direct from him, like for his stuff. I don't like, I know like Sideshow will carry some of it and stuff. I'd rather buy it directly from him. 100% of it goes to the artist.
So you're supporting him, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And but also a lot of times, like, I'll get a piece from his, from his site, and then I'll just get a really nice frame that I like and I know matches everything else that I have in my collection, versus you get it at Sideshow and you're paying through them, but then if you get their like framed version, it's like, you're gonna pay like $200-300 more because they charge a ridiculous amount for a framed print, whereas I can just go and I can just get a frame that I like better. And then the money for the print, it's less, but it goes directly to him. And it's just a testament to it. I mean, like I said, this Detective Comics 1000 that I bought, the graded one, that thing, it literally sold out in like 4 minutes. 4 minutes. That thing it went flying. So I'm so glad that I jumped on that right away, because I knew it was going to be popular. I knew it'd sell out. I didn't think it was going to sell out that fast. So the fact that it did, and I managed to get mine, and Ryan got his again. Screw him for getting his before me. But yeah, man, I'm super psyched for that piece.
Oh yeah. Anyway, man, yeah. Shout out to Alex Ross for holding it down for the culture, just basically for the community as long as he has. Man, I mean, he's such an amazing, just a pillar for the community. So definitely,
Absolutely.
Not to
Ross,
mention, even though I'm not a fan of the movies themselves, Alex Ross did do all the concept art for the Raimi or the original Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So-
I know. Yeah, I know. We know how much you hate it. Eddie Rodriguez with a $10 super chat. Thank you for coming through with that. Happy Monday, people. Stay blessed. Thank you, bro. We appreciate you, man. Let me address the chat real quick. We got Luminar in the building. I'm loving the artist appreciation today. Yeah, Luminar, we got to see your art too. Definitely, we got to see some of your pieces. I actually had Luminar on Figure Flex Friday, so she came through. So great to have her. She'll be back on this weekend, this Friday as well. So
Good.
Can't wait for that. She's Luminar is really important to the culture, bro. Like literally
awesome.
when you talk to her,
Yeah.
she's awesome. So thank you for coming through, Luminar. We got Max Geekdom in the building. My guy, thank you for coming through. Brendan Riley, you're amazing. It's important to directly support the artist, and it will help in the long run. Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. Maz's Toy Box. I love Art Jim's work.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We have Efren Guzman. Good evening, folks. Thank you for coming through, man. We got the Ben Cave is in the building. Let's see here. What did he say? My all-time favorite artist. My original 7 pieces is one of, if not my favorite things in the entire collection. Numbered 8295. Yes, 8 out of 295. Yes, bro. I feel you. We have Joe Mama in the building. Thank you for coming through. I need a Green Knight Kingdom Come figure. I need all the Kingdom Come figures, bro. It started. It's already
People are
starting.
doing it. I mean, you've got the I don't know if they're going to go beyond it, but So is doing the one from like the CW kind of crossover event. So they've got the Brandon Routh version, but then SSR is doing. They've got the Superman one right now. They're going to be doing a black suit one too.
Did you see that one, Vinny? The
I didn't see
SSR
that
one?
yet. Mm-mm.
Let me.
It's
I'm
not
gonna bring
cheap.
this up. It's
for
definitely
a
not
third party,
cheap, bro. But
it's expensive.
it's like 3 something. But you know,
Okay.
it's but still, when you
There's
see it,
no
I'm gonna
other
bring it
Kingdom
up.
Come 6 scales out there like that. That's why they can go that pricey, is because I mean they're the only game right now. Other than again, So is doing like the Brandon Routh version, but as far as like an actual just like straight comic interpretation,
Yeah.
nobody else is doing it. SSR is the only one. We know Hot Toys ain't gonna do it. So they're not cheap, but I can tell you I absolutely love my Hush Batman that SSR did. So when they put this one up for pre-order, I was all in.
Yeah.
I got the regular, the single though. I didn't get the 2-pack that has like the old man farmer Kent kind of thing. Cause I don't need that one. I just want him in the suit.
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick because it's a beautiful piece. Vinny, like they took this straight from Kingdom Come, bro. Like it's straight. It's straight from.
It's such an iconic visual masterpiece of a story. It's like, I mean, it's Kingdom Come.
Yeah, dude.
Look at
all
that,
comic
bro.
book fans
And
know
look
it.
at what they did with this photo.
Wow. They even made sure to do the lighting right.
Yep, they did the shading on it.
That's straight out of the cover of when he's front and center.
Yeah, like the lighting on this is phenomenal, bro. Like the way they did that. I mean, just looking at it like this, it looks exactly like an Alex Ross's painting, bro. Like this.
And this is the
incredible.
only way we're gonna get stuff like that in 6 scale, because again, it's not like Hot Toys isn't gonna do it. I would love it if they did, but they're gonna stick with the movie, the film based stuff that they can tie directly into film licenses and make money off of those.
And even if Warner Brothers did do a Kingdom Come film, they would change all the costumes and they would be different Hot Toys versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the angle of like any angle you choose, whether it's this right here, whether it's this right here, whether it's this right there, like anything like, this over here.
And this is the thing, you can tell that they were like, okay, we want to make this version, and they actually looked at the original comic book art. They looked at the covers, they looked inside, and then they applied that to the photography for the product. And not a lot of companies will do that.
Yeah, clearly the attention to detail is there, because if they're even considering the photography for the pieces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, it's not cheap. It's over $3 for that one, but I mean, it's just it's a gorgeous piece. And anybody who has any others, like I said, there's the I have the Hush Batman one. Anybody else who has SSR stuff, they do really good work, man. So they're definitely worth it. And that Kingdom Come Superman, I ordered the hell out of that the second it went up.
Hell yeah, that's definitely
good,
mine.
Jedi?
We got Jedi Kid in the building, bro. Thank you for coming through,
fellas?
man. What up with you, brother? What
My
up
bad,
with you,
bro.
my
I
man?
had some stuff going on. I got my
You was
baby
pimping.
girl.
That's all right. You was pimping.
No. Today, actually, I got a baby girl. Puppy today. That's what
You got
I
our
did.
puppy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She got
Okay.
a mastiff. Where is it?
Okay. Oh, you got a mastiff.
Mm-hmm.
We got DJ in here who said, hey, y'all see the concept art for, you know what? He had to say this as soon as you popped in. Damn.
Right? The timing.
Damn, the timing. He said, y'all see the concept art for Ben Affleck.
We'll be back in a half hour, okay?
Yep.
Hey, Artemis.
For Batfleck solo movie. Did y'all see that?
Artemis.
Yo.
Get out.
I seen it. I kind of like the spandex look that they wound up going with, so I would have hated to lose.
Affleck ain't going nowhere, bro.
Definitely was an interesting take on
The timing and everything on that drop. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it was. It's interesting because somebody said, I was talking to Robert Meyer Burnett, and he said that from what he heard from the background is that it could possibly still be on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And they're gonna be doing reshoots with Cavill now too. So for the Flash movie.
I don't know. I believe that when I see it, though.
Yeah, I believe when I see it, but I'm hearing about it, so I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
You never know. With WB, it's just kind of like wait to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but yeah, it was definitely interesting artwork for the film.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the cow, bro. The cow was right out of the Arkham game, bro. With the way it came on his head and everything, it was supposed to come on his head.
Because I think you sent me a picture of it, right?
Yeah, I sent you a picture of it when I found it.
Yeah, let me actually go through and pull it up because I at first I thought it was like the concept art for the film. You know what I mean? Like for the Flash film. That's what I thought. But then when you were like, nah, that's basically for the movie, I was like, oh, okay, that of his own movie. I was like, okay, that definitely would have been a dope piece. And like the suit, I just like the symmetry of the suit itself is decent.
Yeah.
It would have definitely been, like I said, because a lot of it looks like it's material versus, you know what I mean? So it would have been decent. You'd have the armor, like mixed media with the mesh. It looks decent.
The armor looks like Kevlar, like angel wings that goes on the vest. So I love that part right there. And then the other layer with the back signal is Kevlar. It's like Kevlar.
You could definitely tell they were shifting from the Frank Miller style to the Arkham game style.
The Arkham game,
based on what he was also going to try and do with the screenplay. So,
but I like that it's relatively subtle transition as opposed to just having them all armored up.
Yeah.
That's definitely dope. Let me finish actually going through the chat here real quick. Shout out to Max Geekdom, of course, Joe Mama 007. We got Louis Labitz in the building. We got Maz's Toy Box. Let's see who else we got. Ren's Talentino's in the building. My God, Ren's, thank you for being here. Love Ren's. Alex Ross, bro, definitely. Filthy Yoda is in the building. The Thor 2941 is in the building. Thank you for coming through. CT 603, thank you for being here. K Carter 27. Calvin Williams. We have Dr. Jones in the building. We got, let's see here, Amber May. Loco Lou is in the building. We got my baby Latoya T is in the building. Thank you for coming through. Malika Mabane, Ray C. Let's see here. We said Daniel Welfare is in the building. AJ Agrusa. Who else we got in here? We said Filter Food. Omar's in the building. We got the dog. We got the dog in the house. Dog in the house. We got Daryl Smith Jr. in the building. Let's see here. SpongeBob Square Balls is in the building. Thank you for coming through. Darth Batman 81. Let's see here.
Mark 7 dropped in.
And Mark 7 is in the building.
Still waiting on the beats.
Mark 7 is in the building. Peeking in. What's up? Yeah, bro. Thank you for being here. Loco Lou always in the building. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. But yo, so it's kind of good to kind of fall back from everything that's happening in the industry and the video games. I mean, not the video games, but the comic books, and tackle something a little bit different, man. So, Vinny, would you like to introduce us or introduce the panel or actually the chat into what we're going to be discussing tonight, bro?
Yeah, man. Let's kick it off.
Definitely.
So we talk a lot about comic books on here, but of course we also talk about comic book films and television and animation but what's often overlooked is video games. Comic books and superheroes have played a big part in video games over the past almost 40 years, starting off with Superman on Atari all the way up to the most recent games like Miles or Guardians of the Galaxy for the current gen systems that we got going on now. And once upon a time, we were not also privy to games like the SpiderMan or Arkham games. They used to be trash. It used to be a running joke with people my age that if a video game company had paid for a license, that was probably the bulk of their budget, and the game would likely suffer for it. Or if the game was decent, it was probably because they took a template for a game that the company was already running and just flipped in a superhero in that game. So a lot of games you would see, you'd see a Superman game, you'd see a Superman game that was like a side scroller where he's just like beating people up on subways and stuff because they just took him, they just took the Batman or whatever side scroller game and just overlaid it. We came a long way. But we just wanted to go through and talk a little bit about comics and superheroes in the video game genre this week. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay out our top 5, and we'll probably just do it round the table and just go through and everybody in no particular order unless you want. Just name a video game and what it meant to you, what you liked about it, and then go on from there. We'll just, I guess, each do 5, and then go from there and talk about those. Jedi Kid, you just got here, but why don't you kick it off for us with your first pick?
Well, I love the Arkham games, man. I got all of them. I beat them all. I like the fact that the game laid out a lot of the history about Arkham, or Dr. Arkham himself, and they were crazy. They were a crazy family, bro. I like all the rogues gallery that Batman had to face while he was locked down in the asylum. The gameplay was awesome. It's like free world. And let me see, this one, the last one, I think was my favorite. I didn't want him to die in the end. I don't know. I don't think he's dead. They got it like he's gone or whatever, but I don't know. I think he just did that to so that the sidekicks wouldn't get exposed. Like he faked his death or something like that, so they wouldn't get exposed. Robin,
which he always does.
Yeah.
So they won't get exposed. But other than that, man, the Arkham series is one of the best games I've ever, like, comic book games. Besides what Vinny, I saw on your list, and one of the ones that you put on your list, I played that game for hours, bro.
Yeah,
I don't want to say that. I'll let you do it, but bro, The Arkham series and that other game that I'm talking about with you, man.
Yeah,
Two of my
unlike
favorite comic book games, bro.
unlike characters, we probably will have some overlaps here. So I
Mhm.
don't mind the overlaps on this one because you can just speak on what it meant to you. But absolutely, Arkham
Yeah.
is like that's definitely a home
Oh,
run for them. So
wow.
I'm sure we all just like went crazy when we seen that. So
Yeah, I
um
can't believe y'all pulled this one out. Like, let's pick your favorite comic video game. I'm like, oh, this is a great
yeah
topic.
yeah
Well, actually, Vinny did this. I
yeah
let Vinny
Oh,
actually
that's
have the
Vinny.
reins
That's
on
you.
this one.
Oh, well, Vinny, you
Yeah.
already know what
yeah. I've
time
been
it is,
wanting to
bro.
talk about that for a minute. It's like we talk
Yeah,
about all the movies and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, we play a lot of comic video games too sometimes. So
yeah, bro. Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah. Especially that.
Brennan, what you
Well,
got?
no, I was just saying, especially the other one, bro. You go ahead. You go.
Yeah,
I want to talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
that one.
I'll get to it.
I want to talk about
So
that one, bro.
so the number 5 on my list, I'll go,
Mhm.
I'll do countdown. And these are all ones that I just vibed with from a story perspective and gameplay.
Mhm.
So I didn't include classic arcade style ones that I absolutely love, like the original Ninja Turtles game, the
Hmm.
original
Oh,
X-Men
classic.
arcade game.
Oh
Those are
yeah.
I love those, but I'm sticking with more modern, like story driven, story
Okay.
based kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
for my first one, to me, it was a PS3 classic that generation, and it was Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
Yep.
And I sent
Oh
Leo
yeah.
like links
Yeah.
to the
Yep. Yep.
trailers for
Yep.
each.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
Shattered Dimensions was a really cool concept because it took basically Mysterio kind of like was
Mhm.
screwing around and fractured reality, and you had 4 different versions of Spider-Man that came together. You had the classic Amazing Spider-Man, you had the Ultimate Spider-Man in the symbiote suit, you had Spider-Man 2099, and you had Spider-Man Noir.
Hmm.
And I enjoyed the hell out of this game. I loved the art style. The art style was a little bit different for each character, but it was a very kind of comic cartoon style animation.
Yeah.
I loved the stealth parts playing
Mhm.
as Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the gameplay style, all the different villains that you get to go up against in it, and like the takes on those villains. I really enjoyed the gameplay. It wasn't perfect. It was definitely of its era, but it was
Yeah.
the Craven
Mhm.
battle was awesome. And they made each iteration of Spider-Man feel different and handle different. Some were faster, some were stronger. Like Spider-Man Noir is not as fast, but the stealth gameplay in that was really cool. Spider-Man 2099 is super fast, but maybe not quite as strong as Ultimate. With the symbiote suit.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
it mixed it up, and they had different voice actors for each one, so they really felt like their own iteration of Spider-Man. So I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of that game. I played it a ton, and it's one of those games where it's not like an open world like what we're used to now. What we
Mhm.
have had for like the past like 10 years or so. This was like you were on kind of linear level progression, so you knew
Yeah.
exactly where you were going. You weren't like swinging around just kind of exploring,
Trying to find
but they
shit.
did it in a way where it felt good and it felt natural to be going in the direction that you were going in. I never really felt like,
Mhm.
oh, I want to go over here, but I can't. They're making me go this way. So I
Mhm.
felt like the gameplay flowed really well. The story was straightforward. It was simple, but it felt inspired by the comics. It felt like something that you would read in the books. And so, I absolutely loved this game. This was definitely a no-brainer for me in my top 5 list.
Yeah, when I remember when they announced that, it was like, okay, that's a crazy concept because we're used to getting a ton of Spider-Man villains, but a bunch of
Mhm.
Spider-Man itself, Spider-Man in the game. That was like, the multiverse before was cool.
This game was a
So,
trailblazer for
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Spider-Verse before
Mhm.
it was trendy. All
Mhm.
right,
Mhm.
what you got for us, Leo?
Well, um, again, I'm going off of basically, if you know, and those if you know, and with me, basically an all-time classic X-Men fan. I've always
Mm-hmm.
been an X-Men fan from day one.
Mhm.
So for me, it was just a no-brainer. the classic. This game right here, boy. I mean, literally, I played this out. I think I played it out to no end. Like seriously, to the point where like I had to like stop myself. Like this game was so fun.
Yes,
it was so fun, bro. It was.
Dude, I was pumped. I spent so much in quarters playing this game at the arcade.
Oh my god, bro! It was so fun. Like if you didn't play this game, it was an old school arcade game.
Yeah,
and the thing is, like, say what you will, basically about the graphics, if you will, it doesn't really matter. This game,
for its day, they were on point though.
Yeah.
I've got to get this.
It was so, bro. It was incredible. Like this game, like look at that, bro. If anybody remembers playing the game in a movement, like literally, it was so like back then. And you know the thing is, it's like you played. It got a chance to play it exactly. And it's like it did have a compelling storyline, bro. Like I did really love it. Like, and I missed
these games were not easy either.
No,
like, they were
they were hard.
They weren't. They weren't. And the beauty
no
of it though
level.
was exactly, bro. And I loved the boss. I loved that you had to get to the bosses. That's what games are missing now. Is that the bosses are there. But it's not like it felt when we played these games, bro. It's like getting to the boss was like a journey.
Like,
and when you got there, you felt like it was accomplished, bro. Like, so yeah, like this right now, I mean, I'd have to say, like, it is. This game is so important to the culture, bro. Like the game it's a classic game. If you haven't played it, if you have never owned it, like man, that game was fire, bro. I loved it.
Have they brought that out for like sale yet? For like one of these?
They have. Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I think you can.
Where?
So
yeah.
Well, they have emulators, so you can play, because originally it was an arcade. Then they like ported it over for like the Xbox 360 and PS3 generation.
Yeah. And then there's Arcade 1UP has their own version of the X-Men Arcade that just has 4-player. And then there's also a Marvel Arcade 1UP that I have that has that game on there too. Yeah. But X-Men Arcade that's on my list too. So some of these, like I said, some of these are going to be duplicates, but I won't. I bet
we get like an updated kind of like collection of like that's included in or something, because they're doing later this year. Yeah. They're doing Konami, who made that. They're doing the Cowabunga collection, and it's like 9 different Ninja Turtles games over the years that are all going to be in one downloadable collection later this year. So that's like, so I and with like the X-Men 92 game, and I mean the X-Men 97 Disney Plus show and stuff like that, I bet you we get some sort of kind of revamped release of that arcade.
We
game.
need that.
Very similar
I need
art style.
that.
Brendan, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Back in our day,
and
here's the thing, bro. Back in our day, we can say back in our day, because back in our day, guys, we remember. What would you do? You go to your arcade, somebody's on it.
Put your quarter up.
Put your quarter up.
Right
put your quarter right there. I got next, right?
Yep.
Brendan, was you that stingy motherfucker, bro, that wouldn't get off the game?
No. I hated that. I hated that, dude. But I would go to the arcade with like a bunch of my friends. Yeah. And so we would it would basically be us in line nonstop. And so we'd be kind of rotating, in and out, so we would dominate it, and then eventually other people would be like, "All right, fuck this," and they would just go away, because there was like 10 of us that would do it.
Vinny.
But that would drive me crazy. It's you got to abide by
the game rules. By the game fucking rules, bro. Vinny,
put your quarters on the table.
Exactly.
No one understands. This generation doesn't have arcades. They don't understand the pressure of not only trying to beat the game that's hard, but with a crowd watching you, either A, so that they could play, or B, because they're just interested and they want to see if you can beat it. So it's like you hear them at, don't.
But if you broke the etiquette,
like, shut up! I'm trying to play.
If you broke the etiquette, then when you were walking out of the arcade, you might find yourself in a live version of Mike Tyson's Punch Out, because people would get heated.
Also, a lot of people don't realize a lot of kids would just hang out at the arcade, so it would be cats
all
who didn't
day.
even want to play.
All
They
day.
were just before going on YouTube and watching other people play video games like kids do
We were
now,
in the
they were
arcade,
at
bro,
the
all
arcade
day.
watching
Yeah.
other people
You
play video
literally
games
spent like
at
the whole
arcade.
weekend in the
Yep.
mall,
Saturday
in
and
the arcade,
Sunday.
or if you're
Saturday and
at an
Sunday, bro.
arcade.
Yeah.
Kids today, they don't know what malls
Bro.
or arcades are like. I was just
No.
like a couple weeks ago, I was watching Mallrats, and I looked over. I said to my wife,
Yeah.
I was like, kids today would not get this movie
No.
Nope.
because they don't know what it's like to just go like shoot the shit with
Like,
your friends at
they'd
the
be like,
mall.
what are they doing there?
Let me mess y'all up. You get there to the mall. You hit Orange Julius. Get your little drink,
Yeah.
your little Orange Julius drink.
Orange Julius
Right.
was right above our
Right.
arcade.
Yo,
Right.
Orange Julius and a
Right.
soft pretzel, bro.
Oh yeah, you
Bro,
gotta get the
so
pretzel
that
juice
You got to get the soft pretzel.
with the
And
nacho
then hit
cheese.
the arcade with like $10 and quarters. Like, what's up? Who got next?
Bro, but you
Oh
know
yeah,
what?
you'd go and
Yo.
you'd fill up like a plastic bag or something with a shit ton
Of
of quarters,
quarters.
and you'd
Of
walk in.
quarters.
Because it's not. I'm not like going to the bank and getting rolls.
not
It was
getting
like
no
you had a
rolls,
sack.
nah.
Like some.
A sack
I
of
had a buddy who literally filled
A
a
white
tube sock
sock,
with quarters and would just carry
right.
it with him.
A sock, a plastic
Because
bag.
then if
Yo.
you got into shit, you would hit somebody with
And
it.
you know
too.
what I
My
hated
mom used
though?
to get mad, bro. Why are you wasting my Ziploc bags in the quarters? I'm just going
Hey,
to the arcade.
that's what.
bro.
Bro, I used to hate.
Going to
I used to
arcade.
hate going to the arcade. And here's the thing, Vinny, you know, at the Colonial Park Mall,
Yeah.
when they first brought Mortal Kombat, they didn't have all
it
the
was
chips.
over.
They didn't have everything. They didn't have all the moves and nothing.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it was always, you thought you were dope, but it was
Mhm.
always that one short Asian kid that would
Yeah,
get on that
special
joint, you put your
Special
quarter up, and he would look at you like this. This is what he would do.
Put
As
the
if to
glasses
say-
up.
Are you sure? Like, are you really sure?
You know what would be the best thing when he would stop looking at the game and he'd be looking at you, and be like, "What? What? He's
Yeah.
fucking you up.
Are you
He's
done?
fucking you up. No looking.
Are you
He's
done?
fucking you up."
Are you
But
done yet?
that
You
was the
wanna
thing
quit?
back in the day when you went to it was when Mortal Kombat came out. It was a little bit with like Street Fighter and stuff, but
Yeah.
it was like
Yep.
it was at its peak when Mortal Kombat was out.
Yep.
And you went to the arcade. It was similar to it these days. If you go to a bar that's playing like a UFC fight, right? People are just kind of getting in
Yep.
that mood. They're getting all antsy,
Me too,
and there's
dumb
always
mama.
somebody in there who thinks that that they're Francis Ngannou or whatever. That they're gonna throw hands and that they're gonna kick some ass in the bar that night. There was always some punk kid who getting in the vibes with Mortal Kombat and would end up starting some shit with somebody at the arcade,
Yeah.
and then there'd be scraps. At least there, when I went, there was.
Bruh.
So
Hell yeah.
it was like bar fights in UFC
Those
was like the
were
same
the
thing as Mortal
days,
Kombat and
dog.
arcades in the mall back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Orange Julius,
So,
soft pretzel,
Orange Julius,
bag of quarters.
Finishers
Damn, I need a
on
pretzel
paper.
now.
hell yeah, bro.
Dude, the long joints. Not
Vinny-
the long ones.
Yeah, the long quarter. Vinny, what was your selection, bro?
So, X-Men Arcades on my list. I'll just mention it quickly when I get around to it because that's probably my number one. But my for 5 for me, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Now Marvel
first one?
Ultimate Alliance, right?
Bruh.
I would go over to my cousin's house, and his kids were around like 11, 12, and they were super into superhero stuff.
Are you talking about the first Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Both of them were dope, bro.
Yeah, both of them were
Yeah.
dope. I
First
didn't
one
like
was
how
wild.
I didn't like how
That
far
was
back
fire.
they brought the 3/4 scale for the second one. So the first one was dope because the characters were still big on the screen. Anyways,
I'll
I
play
would
that
go over
now,
to my cousin's
dog.
house, and my nephews and I, we would be up all night just playing
All night.
like just going in. We had to beat the next stage, It was one of the most fun games, and like that's back to the era where before online gaming was really big. Everybody picked their favorite, and then the coolest part about this was you would have moves that worked well with other players' moves, depending on who you picked. So it was strategic even in who you picked. And as anybody who ever played this game knows, one of the greatest moments in cinema for arcade and video game Marvel superhero fans was when they did one of the ultimate moves in Avengers with Iron Man shooting his blaster at Captain America's shield and having it ricochet for a big blast damage. That was one of the coaches because that's straight out of the video game. It was kind of like you wouldn't even think that they would know that, and it was just so much fun.
How much did you flip out when Galactus came out at the end and grabbed the like?
I remember when we were playing it, we were just like, our jaw was on the floor half the game. The cutscenes were crazy. The gameplay
it was a cliffhanger at the end of a video game.
And
that
it
you're
was
like
there was RPG elements of leveling up and picking out how you're gonna build your character's tiers and stuff like all that. And it just the story was fun. And at that time, there hadn't really been a Marvel game that was worth the shit. It really hadn't.
No.
It wasn't or there really wasn't anything like it at the time. There's nothing to compare it to on the consoles. There wasn't really anything like that at home that you could.
Nothing that brought all those types of characters together.
No, I mean, because it wasn't just X-Men or just or Fantastic Four. It was like the whole company. It was like all these different characters, and it was so ambitious. I just hadn't seen anything like that. Activision just knocked it out of the park with Raven Software. It's like it was so. It was so much fun. It was so fun that it was one of those things where when you did beat it, it was like, all right, let's do it again with different players, which you could, just keep playing it over and over and just different combinations. And that's what we did all the time. We just played shit out of that game, picking different people, seeing what their moves did, how they would interact with each other to see what kind of combos you could get off. It was it was such an amazing game. It was like, if you've never played that game, play that one, like maybe skip like the second one. The third one is pretty cool. But that first one is really special.
I agree what you said about like the scale on the second one, but the second one did a good job of pulling from Secret Wars and Civil War.
Yeah,
kind of. So the story, like I think the gameplay was better in the first one, but the story I really dug the way they did.
The second one had the story.
One.
But they had Blade in the second
one, it was attention to each individual character that they paid. Like you did, it wasn't one of those things where you would only have like minimal time with those characters. Like it's only achievable if you're on this level with that. Nah, like they gave ample time, bro.
And things actually played out a little differently based on if you chose Cap or you chose Iron Man's side.
Yeah,
because like which person you would go up against and things like that did change based on those alliances. So you could go through. It wasn't like entirely different, but it was different enough that you would be like, once you finished a run through with like Cap, you want to go back and replay the game again with Iron Man.
And it definitely was important, like the attention to detail for the characters. It's not like they just threw in, let's throw in Sue Storm in there just to have her in there. Like she was.
Yeah.
Like sure.
Hell
all right, Jedi Kid, what's your 4?
Dude, okay, so that. Oh my god, I forgot all about that game, bro. Until I saw your part. Like, oh my god, I forgot about that shit. Four to me, has to be the SpiderMan game, the Raimi one, the first one.
Okay.
That first SpiderMan game, I know everybody's, it's lame. Bro, that was the first one where you had an open world in New York City. Yo, that game was another one I was up for hours and hours and hours until I beat it. Awesome game. The storyline it coincided with the movie, but then it had little story arcs of its own in the game. Yo, that Sam Raimi Spider-Man was classic. What, PS?
I think that's right around the GTA 3 time where we were just starting to get open world
games. Yeah, that was PS2, right? I think, or PS.
I think it might have
been PS2. Yeah, it was PS2.
It wasn't 2 yet. It was
PS2.
PS3. Yeah, but for being on PS2, the graphics was dope, man. For that era, for that time in gaming, bro, the graphics were good. I liked the whole the gameplay of it. The whole open world thing was the first for me, and that is definitely like my number 4, man. That was what a good game, and what an intro to have Spider-Man like from. That was the first one from the movies, I think, right? The Raimi one was the first one. Yeah, from a movie. Yeah, from a live action movie. Yeah, that was it for me, man. But boy, if I would have remembered that Ultimate one, dog, I'd have been on that all night. I'm glad Vinny got that one because that Ultimate Alliance. Oh my God, the pick 4. I know I'm going over, bro, but to pick 4 heroes and have them on the same squad.
Yeah,
yo, and they had all the different uniforms and everything. Bro, that was my game. Yeah, it was a deep game, bro.
Mm-hmm. Bro, I know this isn't the game you're talking about because I was looking at the graphics and everything, but bro, this picture right here was basically like the Sam Raimi Rome option.
Oh no, it looks bad now. I know it looks bad now.
Bro, but nah. I'm not
Let me
talking
see
about.
it.
Oh, did I choose the wrong thing? Why did it come up? Give me a second, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
what I
yeah.
wanted to
I didn't
choose.
see that.
Hold up, give me a second. Let me cancel this out. Um, give me a
That
Yeah, I
jump
second.
was
mean,
the first open world in New York, bro. That was
yeah,
raw, man.
yeah, especially with we were just getting that movie, so we were like
Mm-hmm.
give us all because we thought we weren't gonna get a movie, so then to be able
Yeah.
to get more games from it because that was what's up.
Bro,
When
look
they
at
announced
this.
the game,
Yeah,
look at that, bro. That's PS2.
Now this was like
Oh, wait
360.
a minute. That's
yeah.
360. Oh, wait. Where's
This
PS2 at?
that's Brendan moonwalking. Hold on, give me a second. Let me.
Where that PS2? And they got it on there, pictures of
Come on. I hate these commercials, man. Oh man, I can't
it.
stand. Here we go. Look at that.
I know it looks bad, but bro, that
This
game
is
was
basically the
awesome, man.
360, but this is actually a 360 Roam version. That you can actually choose that skin for the
Uh-huh.
SpiderMan game. But I just
Mhm.
love that. That's why I kind of brought it up. It was incredible,
Hmm.
bro. I love that piece. But yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
That's
Spider-Man was
definitely dope.
cool. Brendan, what's your 4?
Number 4 for me is actually a game that just came out last year. And this is one that I think a lot of people really slept on,
Oh,
and
Guardians.
I enjoyed the hell out of this, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I knew it.
I played this on my PS5,
Mhm.
and I was really, a lot of people were skeptical coming into this game because um, because Square Enix had put out Marvel's Avengers
Yep.
like a year and a half prior, and that was kind of a flop. Like it didn't. I think it actually had a pretty good story, but it wasn't. The gameplay itself was lacking and very repetitive in a lot of areas, and then the games as a service, like continuing to play after you played the campaign, it fell flat. But that was Square published it, but it was a different developer that made the game versus the Guardians game. So that's why I
That's
still had
dope,
faith that this
though.
could be good. The
Mhm.
gameplay is really fun. You play as Star Lord for the whole time. You don't play as any of the other characters, but
Hmm.
you do engage and control. You like tell them to like attack here, use this attack, do this. Like you guide them, you instruct them. I really enjoyed the gameplay. It was fluid. It felt really good. The story and the interactions with all the characters is very much Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Like,
look at the
it's
classic
really,
suit.
Oh,
really
you could
good.
change the suits too?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had unlockable suits in there, so you could. They had like the actual MCU suits from like the first movie. They
Oh.
had a ton of different classic comic arc
Hmm.
suits. So there was a
Hmm.
lot that you could do in that. Um, it was a fun game that a lot of people I think just slept on because of the Avengers game being so lackluster the year before. But
Hmm.
this game was fun. It's not like reinventing the wheel in terms of in terms of graphics.
Hmm.
It's like it is what it is. It's the art style is cool. It's not gonna blow you away graphically, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed the hell of it. It's a lot
It looks
longer than
cool, man.
people would give it credit for too. Like you get a lot of gameplay out of this thing. I was
Yeah.
very happy. I'll go back and play it again to get the platinum on this one.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, if you like, I think it's worth the full price. But if you can get it at a
Hmm.
discount, definitely pick it up and give it a shot. If you're a
Hmm.
Guardians fan from the books, and if you like the movies, this should be something that you check out. I really really enjoyed it.
Can you play with all of them have their own story arc too? If you play with that one character from each.
So what it is you play as Star Lord, but
Mm,
what you're doing with the missions and everything, you
mm,
interact with the different characters in different ways. You find
mm.
collectibles that are hidden throughout the world, and it might have like a connection to Gamora or a connection to Drax or something, and
Oh,
then you go
dope.
and you talk to them about it, and it
Yeah.
unlocks these conversations, and you get more character work with them. So
Uh,
you're always playing as Star Lord, but you are having different interactions with them.
mm,
and then you can use them in different ways depending on like what battles you're in or what objectives you're trying to do. Like if you might need something knocked over to like bridge a gap, and you can have Drax knock it over, or you can have Groot can like make like a tree bridge kind of thing to help you cross something. Or, Rocket can crawl into a small space to go into another room and unlock a door, so then it flips open. Gamora is super acrobatic, so if you need to climb like a really tall thing, you can send her to like stab her sword into the wall up high, so that like she hangs, and then you'll jump up and then she'll vault you over. So like you use the whole team in different ways, but you also have different options, and they impact the cutscenes and your relationships with the characters. So like at one point there's this gap that you have to cross that you can't get any other way over. So you have the option of Groot trying to go down and maybe find some other alternative, but you don't know what that is yet. Or you have Drax just throw Rocket over this big like chasm. And then he like tumbles and lands and then can like hit the panel and send a bridge back. Dope. And Drax is all for it. Rocket does not like that idea, and you have the choice. It's like, okay, do I say no, we're not going to throw Rocket across there, we'll figure something else out, and then Rocket appreciates that you didn't do that? Or do you say, fuck it, Drax, throw him? And he's like, what? And then he grabs him and just surprises Rocket and throws him over. And now Rocket is pissed at you for a while, and then it changes the dialogue that you have with him. So there are moments like that where it can impact the gameplay and how it unfolds. So it just makes it interesting, and it makes it feel like it's dynamic.
I like that. I might.
What's your 4?
My 4? I mean, to me, I just had fun playing the game, and the storyline. I mean, I think was better story wise than 2, in my opinion. But I just love the gameplay on it. And that's Injustice, of course.
You're taking all my picks, man.
Bro, this game was. I didn't mean to, but I mean, it's just, bro, like literally.
Nah, it's a classic. It's an instant classic.
Is classic, bro.
It's like an instant classic with this game, bro. Like, I mean, just the world that they build, you know what I mean, around this, and to see that kind of fleshed out in a game was phenomenal, bro. Like, it was phenomenal. And the gameplay, like literally, like
so good that then they made a whole crazy big run of comics.
I started reading the comics, and talk about how backwards that is. Like,
now if a game is that good and they bust out comics like that, the game is good, bro.
That's I mean,
it's crazy.
So much quality with this, bro. Like, I mean, just and the thing is, which made some of what they basically did with the game itself, like, even like, as much as I think the storyline from the first game is a bit better, a little bit, in my opinion, than 2. What Flash does in 2, like,
man, for
really sends your ass in different, like, you know what I mean, the time zones, bro. Like, it's like, wow, but
different times, bro.
It's
crazy, dog.
This game, man, I spent hours and I remember, like, at being at work at one point and just being like, you know what, is if I don't have anything to do, if I'm done, I'm closing up shop and just going home. Bro, I'm just going home and play.
This was NetherRealm Studios too. This was Ed Boon. So for all of us who grew up on Mortal Kombat, then he comes into the DC universe and we get this, and eventually we get like DC versus Mortal Kombat and stuff. But like Injustice, it was like that was something special.
Hell yeah, bro. That game. And the thing is, it was so unexpected because it was like, okay, how are you going to take these characters, make this iteration, and how are people going to receive it? Because I remember even the developer was like, they were like, we didn't know how people would receive this game because we're taking some of their favorite characters and we're kind of just twisting and flipping it on sideways. Superman, and and it's to the point where the heroes are villains and the villains are heroes, in a sense.
And it's a fighting game, so at some point you're gonna have to whoop the ass of like one of your favorite all-time characters.
Exactly. So
I also love that the controls weren't super complicated. Like,
most
people could do the finishers. Whereas Mortal Kombat, sometimes it was like you had to be really good at video games.
Dude, you have to have 4 extra fingers to be able to pull off some of the fatalities in Mortal Kombat. But this game, it was completely appropriate.
Yeah, get online. I can do it.
I remember how disappointed it was when Marvel did a Nemesis game, and it was like this, but then there was a whole other half of like their own created characters, and it's like, no, we don't want that. We want to play Injustice.
I remember that. That was awful.
Remember that game? I was like, that game was why terrible, would you do it half-ass?
Yeah.
Why would you do it half-ass? We want to see a whole, because that's the only Marvel games we ever get. Is Marvel vs. Capcom, where it's like the other half of a roster is another company. I wanted this. What was special about this is it was all DC. Like they did DC versus Mortal Kombat. But then we got this, which was just all DC on DC. That's what people wanted.
Yeah.
Did you like the Injustice movie? I hated it.
You didn't like the animated version, bro?
Huh?
You didn't like the animated
version?
No, man, they killed Flash, bro. He's one of the main ones in the movie. Like, I mean, in the game.
I dug what they did, especially the
Flash in a whack way. Like he can't outrun the gas. Come on, bro.
I dug the animated Injustice. I thought they did pretty.
It just
and the second one, I thought they did a good job.
C+.
Vinny,
but C+ is still good for Warner Brothers.
All right, so my next one is we're gonna go back to arcades for a second here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Classic.
For all the same reasons of X-Men Arcade, which again is on my list too, but we'll get to a little bit more of that later. But TMNT, that was another put your quarter up game where I believe it was another one of the first 4-player games, like The Simpsons at the time, where four buddies would just jump on and then just see how far you could go and
I had to try to
run it. And it was just a classic. Like it was back in the golden era of the arcades where you could just spend the whole day at the arcade playing games like this. It was one of the most, iconic video game. It wasn't nothing super fancy about it. It was just basic, fun side scroller gameplay of, the Turtles, which at that time, like the Turtles have had a tremendous staying effect, but when they came out in the 90s, it was just, I mean, there's not much that was ever bigger than the Turtles when they first hit the scene. From comics to video games to cartoons to the
You better
movies.
Carve out some time in your calendar for later this year when the Cowabunga collection drops, dude. Because all those this game, man, like they'll be playing it like crazy.
Man, it was.
Wait! They got something coming to the consoles.
The Cowabunga collection later this year, Konami is like 9 different classic Ninja Turtles games all in one collection that are dropping for new consoles later this year. And this is one of them.
Bro, the Turtles, like the Turtle game itself, bro, like you look at it like now and it's like, okay, graphic wise, but you can pick this game up and play. And even now, now, you can still basically jump on and play this game. Like this is almost as official as Galaga was back in the day.
Yeah. Do you remember how hyped you were when you first saw different colors of the foot soldiers, and you're like, "Whoa, wait a minute! There's an orange foot soldier.
Orange, blue, white,
was that was crazy."
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
it was so fun, and like everybody, even outside of video games, a lot of people had their own favorite turtle, and it usually was pretty widespread. It wasn't like everybody liked Raphael. It was like I always loved
Leonardo was my boy.
I always had somebody,
Leo was always mine too.
Leo's my boy.
But it was cool because there were different, like the different characters actually had different uses that were good in this game. Like when you were going up against like the Mauser and like his mouth, like Donatello to swing the staff, and even Mikey just with the nunchucks, they worked better than Leo or Raph did against those mouse robots. So like there were all these, like you actually use different characters to their strengths.
Yeah,
Leo was always good with all the bosses, bro. For some reason, Leonardo was always the one to pick to fight the bosses, bro. Yeah, always.
I mean, it's just a classic. It's one of those. It's one of those perfect combinations of a hot property and a spinoff that kind of like just struck while the iron was hot. I mean, because it was at its height, and the video game was actually really good at a time where that stuff was hit and miss sometimes. So that was another one where it was like this, Simpsons, the WrestleMania joint and X-Men Arcade, where a whole bunch of the other games at that time would do well, but like you would never, the cord on those games would never get cold. It was always hot.
Definitely
it always had a crowd around it.
Listen.
Speaking of the wrestling games, though, obviously, we lost Scott Hall today.
Scott Hall, man, he was
rough.
What a good dude, man.
Say goodnight to the bad guy, man. You'll never see a bad guy like him again.
Nah, bro.
He had a heart attack during the hip surgery. Man, back in the day when he first debuted in WWF, and they just had the promos of him like walking on the beach and stuff, and then he just did like completely ad-libbed. He just did the toothpick and stuff.
Yeah.
And what he and Kevin Nash went on to do, NWO, bringing in Hogan, all that, like, man, they were trailblazers. The dude was only 63 years old, so that's fucking
it's
that's
tough.
rough.
It's a
Jim
good
hurt too, bro.
The upside is he did turn his life around and with DDP, like, got clean and stuff for a while, so we might have lost him a long time ago. Which there was a run of wrestlers who were nothing, nobody knew anything bad about them, who died too young, and everyone was like, well, shit. As morbid as it was like, shit, I thought it'd be Scott Hall we would have been hearing about.
Everybody,
20 years later.
Years ago, my buddy was wrestling on the independent circuit, and he was at the show that was infamous because Scott Hall was drunk and high, and he like stumbled and fell out and then like passed out in the ring, and they had to call the EMTs and stuff. He was like there ringside, because he was working that night wrestling, and so going from that, he turned his life around. And this was a simple, like, he literally just from years of abuse and in physically in the ring, he had a hip replacement surgery done like a week ago, and this was just one of those freak things where there was a blood clot.
Attacks, bro.
There was a blood clot that went from the surgical site, the hip, into his heart, and induced like a series of like 5 like massive heart attacks right after that. It was this, I mean, I'm sure his heart probably couldn't take as much because of the years of drugs and stuff, but this wasn't like a drug specific, a drug induced kind of thing. This was just a horrible complication to surgery, and it sucks.
That's sad, man.
Shout out Scott Hall,
legend,
family,
boy.
man.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Scott Hall. We got Eddie Rodriguez in here with a $5 super chat. Who was everyone's favorite Street Fighter character? Me?
Ryu.
God.
Ryu.
Housing, bro.
Ryu all day. Ryu, bro. What?
All right, I have 2 answers. My favorite character was Vega, but I sucked playing as him, so I would always pick Ryu. But I always wished I was better at playing Vega. Because
Vega had 2 moves that would end the fight, bro.
Yeah.
Vega was the easiest one to get 2 moves off. You would end the whole fight, bro.
But Ryu, you had to visually, he looked badass.
Vega, yeah. But Ryu, man, Ryu had so much to offer, bro.
For me, it was Ryu and Ken, but probably Ryu most.
Ken, Ken too with the fire punch. But Ryu, bro,
that Street Fighter animated movie is the most underrated animated movie of all time.
Yeah. It is. They got a live action.
Now specify.
And then there's the Van Damme.
Specify.
Not
say
that
the
one.
animated
Not
movie.
That one.
Yes, there you go.
Animated. I made
the Van Damme movie was so funny. It was so bad. It was funny.
But the animated one was dope. But they have a live action one too, like a newer one they just made. It's like you can find it on like probably like Prime.
Incredible.
Let me see if I can find it on my Prime.
So
Jenna, what was your
what's your third, bro?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Avengers, a new one. The Avengers. I like it for I got it from my for the Series X, bro. That game is off the chain, dog. I like the fact now they got the whole
story's
Black Panther,
really good.
Wakanda is dope. They got SpiderMan on there now. The whole storyline about
it's everyone trashes it. And then for every 8 people to trash it, there's 2 is like all those 8 people are crazy. This game is dope. Y'all are just
come on.
Hype that is trash.
They trash it because it's not the movie version of.
And I think that's so much of it
but you get those skins.
That's what every time I hear somebody complain about what sucks about it, they talk about what their faces look like. I don't give a shit what Captain America's face looks
Bro.
like. You don't have to look like
People
Chris
were
Evans.
basically saying that they looked too close to the movies, and that
They
if
should've made
if they
it look
weren't going to be
completely
the
different.
movie versions,
Yeah.
make them look completely different,
Right.
different style. And
Right.
I get
Right.
that. The
understand
majority
that.
of the criticisms of the game were more in some of the gameplay was repetitive, but more so after you played the campaign. If you were still then just playing
campaign.
online with friends after, then
Yeah.
it got kind of dull. But the story itself in this game
Dude.
was really, really good. And
Yeah,
then
I heard
The
like,
campaign was dope, bro.
The
Yeah.
Black Panther kind
whole
of storyline,
MODOK
like,
thing?
really breathed new life into it. Was it dope?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro. It was good.
It was
though.
decent.
the
They got a whole
Hawkeye
Black
one is
Panther
good too,
story.
though.
The Hawkeye story is him fighting what's my man?
Maestro.
The-
He's
Maestro.
fighting like the
Maestro.
old Hulk from the
the Maestro
Wastelands.
Hawk.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
also you got
It's a
Kate Bishop in
wasteland
there.
board, bro. Kate Bishop
Honestly,
got a whole
Kate
story.
Bishop, and Hawkeye and like
Yeah.
Clint were my
Yeah.
two favorite in that game in terms of how they handled in
Yeah.
combat. With the
Yeah,
with the
bro.
arrows and the swords,
Yep.
they handled really, really well.
I also
Yeah.
think what threw a lot of people off is you start off as like Kamala Khan, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
'cause she's
you
going
play
to
a bunch
the-
of dude. She's fun
Yeah.
to play as though. She's
Yeah.
badass
Yeah.
in that game.
I can
Bro,
see where
she
people
gotta-
who just know video
Yeah.
and just know the movies,
Dude.
but like, who the hell is this?
Bro,
I
when
get
she
that.
hypes up, when she does her amp up, and she turns like a freaking giant, dog.
Okay.
Mhm.
She's
She's
smacking
got like
robots
she's got a
around.
cool power set in this
Yeah,
game.
bro. She's
that,
like,
like-
Mr. Fantastic, kind of, sort of.
Yeah. I still
Yeah,
gotta
dude.
play it.
It's a
She's
fun
dope.
game. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's one that like once you're done with it, there's not a whole lot of motivation to like play online with friends in
Yeah.
the co-op, which was
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to be like the big
sell.
thing about this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you take that out and you just look at it as a single player campaign, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's got a really
Yeah.
good story.
I beat the main campaign already. Now I'm playing the Black Panther one. Yo, this game
one of the
is
reasons-
fire, bro.
That's
And you
dope.
got
That's
you
one of
got
reasons why I
all
want
the
to wait.
MCU suits. You got all the MCU skins
Oh,
in the game.
damn.
Yeah, you got a
All
lot
of
of
'em.
classic ones too. There's a lot of suits in it.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I had heard that about like just the campaign part, so I figured I'll wait till it's cheaper, and then if it's just
Bro,
that,
play the
then-
campaign part.
Yeah.
Play the campaign part first,
yeah.
and then play the. You got Black Panther. You got a part with SpiderMan on it. You got his own
Yeah.
little story.
They do a good
Hawkeye.
job of making each character feel different in
Yeah.
how they fight too. Like
Yeah.
you don't feel like I'm just button mashing and that
Right.
it's just a heavy and a light attack and Thor
Right.
feels exactly like Black Widow, right? Like they feel different in how they handle.
Yeah.
It's
Nice,
like a
nice.
danger room on. They have a training room on the
Yep.
the helicarrier kind of sorta. So you can
Okay.
practice each character's like skill set until you get done. Then you go out and do your missions or
Yep.
whatever. But bro,
Hmm.
that
That's a
game
smart
is
idea.
fire, bro. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah, they look weird on the cover, but man, I played the game. I was getting skins like halfway through the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Buying
My
them and
only thing
downloading
is
them,
I
putting
feel
them
like
on.
I feel like because they had them exclusive on the Sony side, which I'm fine with because I play on a PS5.
Mm.
But I feel like they shouldn't have put Spider-Man in the game because he doesn't handle anything like the quality that we've come to expect from Insomniac's Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
So he felt less than because he was not as good as iterations of Spidey that we've had very recently. So to me, I think they should have left him out of the game because they didn't even give you like a story specific to him. They just basically dropped him in the game and it's like then he's there. Whereas with Black Panther, you got the Wakanda expansion, Hawkeye,
Yeah.
you got that DLC.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man, it just felt like they kind of like they hyped it up as like, oh, this is gonna be we got Spider-Man,
No
and
Way
then they
Home.
just dropped him in.
No Way Home.
Yeah.
Like it so Spider-Man was not it. Like don't expect
A lot.
the Insomniac games, Spider-Man
Yeah.
or Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
playing Spider-Man in this, because it's not that at all.
Gotcha.
Definitely.
He got a lot of
Um,
skins off the rip too.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'll check for it. I still gotta check it out. Brendan, what's your 3?
So for me, I know, I think we're all, and most people in the chat are probably fans of the Arkham series, and most people point to Arkham City, the second one, as being their favorite. I think that one probably overall gameplay mechanics were really refined, and the open world elements are really cool. So I think most people prefer that one. For me, though, it's that. Arkham Asylum was the first one, and that it gave you that experience of the first time, like, oh wait, this is the first Batman game that doesn't suck.
Yeah,
So it was a milestone for me. And the Arkham Asylum, when it opens and you're taking Joker in through that like entrance, man, that was it to me. And I know, again, people love the open world nature of Arkham City. It's a great game, although I do think they tried to cram too many villains in, and so some major villains felt just kind of like not as bad and not as important. They felt just kind of like, oh, we threw this in there too. Whereas they were villains that could have been the headlining villain in their own games. For me, it's all about Asylum, because that was the first time we've got Kevin Conroy and we've got Mark Hamill back in a video game. And I love that cluster. That's why I was excited for, if Ben Affleck had eventually made that movie. I loved the sense, the claustrophobic nature of, we're in Arkham Asylum. We're not going anywhere else. We're in Arkham Asylum, and he's got to navigate this labyrinth of all these underground layers and everything in Arkham Asylum, and the stealth nature of that. I much prefer that to, having to kind of like navigate the open world, as cool as it was in Arkham City. For me, keeping that concentrated stealth mode in Arkham Asylum and finding all these different places within that just made it a creepier and scarier kind of place. And Mark Hamill's portrayal of the Joker in this one,
he kills it.
That's why Asylum will always be like if I have them in front of me, and I know that Asylum is the earliest one, so it's gonna have the least refined gameplay out of the whole series. But for me, if I've only got one that I can play, I'm going to Asylum every time.
Yo, Kevin Conroy signed my my game and my Arkham Batman base, bro.
That's awesome.
I feel like a 2-year-old. I was screaming and hollering, bro.
This is such a great game. It makes me look forward to the new Suicide one, the new Suicide Squad one, because it's them doing it again. So yeah, I absolutely loved. I mean, Arkham Asylum. Anybody who played that for the first time as a Batman fan, you're like, oh my god, I can't believe we're getting a great Batman game. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, was the last one had a lot of Superman Easter eggs too, with the Lex Luthor in Arkham City. So I thought it was going to drop Superman cameo at some point. I was waiting for it, but then they did.
There have been so many planned and canceled Superman games. Yeah.
The Batmobile gameplay threw me off with Night. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It wasn't as fun.
Oh god, the mechanics for the Batmobile were horrible in that game.
For the last one.
It was so
took
bad.
Me out of it. It was just like, nah.
I love driving.
But they made it such a heavy part of the game too. Like, you had to spend so much time in the Batmobile, and it just did not handle well. Like the things that you had to do were just
the bomb.
So
you were just driving around. That's one thing, but you had to complete missions where if you weren't good at handling that, you
then it ruined a lot of the gameplay experience for you. It drove me nuts.
All right,
I like driving that thing around, bro. That was fun, bro.
Okay, so mine is a game that probably not too many people ever played. I played it. It was on basically my first Sega Genesis system. And it was based on a small comic book run, based on the game itself. But I just loved it, and that's Eternal Champions.
Okay.
Man, bro.
Hell yeah.
You took it back.
I'm taking it all the way back. So
Dude,
Eternal Champions.
If you grew up with the Sega Genesis, man, you played this game.
Hell yeah. This game was incredible.
So dope, bro.
This was right up there with Battle Axe, Golden Axe, and Shinobi and stuff. You played
this is not on any. I can't find this nowhere to download.
You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to right now anyway, because like I said, the rights still haven't been released yet, but I don't know why they're holding on to it, but they haven't released the rights, so you won't find it.
Because I have the Sega Genesis that you can buy today that comes with like 30 or 40 digital games like loaded on it that you can play, but this isn't one of them.
Yeah,
Eternal
but this game,
Champions.
it was. Now I'm gonna tell you, because, and I'm gonna pull up the gameplay real quick, because it was just. It was free.
That game was so fire, bro.
I played one of my favorite characters was the gangster, because I just like taunting people. He was always pointing at people and go punk. punk.
Yeah.
Yo, so I used to love that game. Like, but it was just the simple
man.
fact that it was just a fun game. And the thing is, you had to, it's like you're fighting for your life. Like you're fighting to actually be reincarnated. And the boss at the end of the game was the one you had to fight that had everybody's power. Like literally. Like it was such a fun game, bro. I loved it. Literally,
God,
like look at this, bro. Like that was the boss. That was the boss right there. You had to
brings
fight.
back so many memories, dude.
Yeah, bro. Like
this was a shit, man.
Yeah, like there he goes. That's my
gangster.
guy, bro.
That's the gangster.
Punk.
He was a cat burglar.
And again, it's very similar graphic style to like Shinobi and Golden Axe and like the level designs and stuff. So if you dug those, you dug that one, man.
Yo,
Lyle messed me up with that one. Damn,
I'm telling you, bro. It was such a because the thing
Damn.
is, it was hours and hours spent on that game, bro. And I used to love it. Like I just to the point where it's like I didn't want to get rid of my Sega Genesis because of that game.
Yeah,
bro. The only thing I hated was
that
when I got
was so great, man.
Yeah.
It was. The only thing I hated though is that if you got the Sega Genesis because of the simple fact that they wanted to make it user friendly for like more so kids. If you got Mortal Kombat, they didn't make an R-rated version for that system.
They did.
So
you did. You just had to put in the blood code.
You had to put in the blood code.
You had to put in the. But I up down down.
Go to the
to get the blood code for it. I hated
man. I do because the thing is, I had a Sega Genesis when I was growing up because all my friends had Nintendo.
Yeah.
So whenever they all had this, so everybody could play the same thing regardless of whose house they were at. So I could go to any one of a dozen different friends of mine's house and play Mario or play any other Nintendo game. But all of my friends, if they wanted to play a Sega game, they all had to come to my house.
That was me.
So,
I was always the Sega guy in our group from Genesis.
Then
I had Sega CD.
I had the
Master System Mario, Sonic for life.
Then I had 32X. I feel like I'm one of 5 people who had the fucking 32X, but I had 32X. Then I had the Sega Saturn, and then the Dreamcast.
Had the Saturn too.
Dude, the Game Gear, Sega Game Gear, man.
Yep.
Game Gear was amazing.
Game Gear, bro.
Game Gear is why, to this day, as an adult, one of the reasons why I feel in my own mind rich is because I always have a drawer full of batteries. Now it's the biggest struggle. It's finding batteries because like, can I please get some batteries?
Dude, what about the Dreamcast too, bro?
Like a couple hours, and then you needed new batteries. And when rechargeable batteries came out, I thought it was the most.
There was nothing better than booting it up and Sega. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. The only one I didn't have that I always wanted was I wanted the Nomad because I played actual Genesis cartridges, but I never had that. But I had the Game Gear.
Yeah.
Cartridges back in the day, you're like,
I was actually going to bring it back to Genesis with X-Men on Genesis, but
dude, that was
X-Men on the Xbox,
but it's what we had.
It was crazy because my Sega Genesis, I actually got it as a graduation gift from high school from my ex-girlfriend, and I didn't open it that night. Because I had went out with a couple friends, I didn't get back until the morning, and that's when I saw it. I was like, "Oh wow!" But
bro,
it was incredible.
Dude, I had the Sega Master System, their original system before the Genesis.
Yeah.
Yep. But what about playing Outrun at home in your living room? Like, come on, bro. You playing Outrun on the Genesis at home. You don't gotta go to the arcade. You got Outrun right in the house, riding that red Ferrari too. God knows where, bro. What?
Yeah,
Those were the times.
Dude, they were man, so good.
All right, so my 3, I'm gonna make this quick because you covered it. But my 3 was Injustice. Injustice was just incredible.
Yeah,
like I said,
first one,
the first one.
The first one, yeah.
I got the second one, but didn't play it as much as I got into the first one. The second one was cool, but it was like just more of the coolness of the first one. The first one was a new experience to have a fighting game with all comic book characters was incredible. The gameplay was amazing. Like I said, it was intuitive. It was user-friendly. Like, you didn't have to be a pro like you kind of felt like sometimes you had to be with Mortal Kombat games. And it was just so amazing seeing the different attention to detail things they did for people who, the wink, wink, nudge, nudge for superhero fans, for comic book fans, of little things that they put in the game just for us that other people probably wouldn't even notice. And then the finishers were just insane. Like watching Flash, the first time I seen Flash run around the world and punch somebody in the face was like, I was like, yo, did I just see what I seen? It was crazy.
Yeah,
what a move, bro.
And then I love the story so much that I bought the comics. And think about of all the years, and I'm sure anyone who's a gamer can attest to this. How often does a game, let alone
a comic book,
fighting game, make you care about the story? That's so fucking rare. Like usually stories don't matter in video games.
Yeah.
It's always comic book is the jump off.
It's always.
Yeah.
Well, in video games in general, sometimes the stories take a backseat and it's just something to set up the gameplay. It's like no one cares about the story. Like not every game is Last of Us where the story is important. Most games, the story really doesn't matter. But this was a game that made you, it kind of like broke the code. Like it cracked the code. It wasn't a video game based on a comic book. It made a superhero.
That shows how NetherRealm evolved the genre.
Yeah, the writers.
On top of that, it was essentially an evil Superman storyline, which wasn't anything new to us, but the way they did it was incredible. And it was one of those things where sometimes it's not the idea, it's the execution. So you took what was a common trope, which was evil superheroes, and did it in a way where you wanted to see what this world was like after you got done playing the game. So you went and picked up the comic book, the trade paperback, whatever, and just kept reading it after the game. That's unheard of. That is absolutely unheard of.
But it was also shocking to people who only knew like Christopher Reeve, like Superman movies and stuff, or some cartoons, but they weren't comic book heads. And so like it was next level in a lot of different ways, and they evolved the genre because this is NetherRealm Studios. They're making this is Mortal Kombat and early Mortal Kombat. You got some text that will give you the background, but you didn't see a real story. It was just a fighting game.
Like this.
The way they evolved the storytelling.
Yeah, not like
this.
There's
also the longevity of it because we see evil Superman story usually take a couple, an issue or a few issues or.
This was like over
but it's
52
usually a small contained story
issues.
where it's something and then it gets resolved and then whatever. But this was like years of a story of Superman turning bad. Okay, well here's now dissecting years after the fact of what all the different superheroes dealing with the fallout of his life.
It legit influenced what Snyder wanted to do in moving forward with the rest of those Justice League movies.
That's true.
That's true. In the Snyder films, and it was frustrating to me because I was like, nah, don't give us a taste of it. Make that something different so that we could see this whole world. I don't want just like a little snippet of it. But this impacted so much more. This impacted the pop culture, not just a video game. I think that's what was so influential about Injustice.
What this game was for me, bro, Superman, y'all all know that. That's my number one.
Yeah.
To see him, the Joker was bored, bro. He was bored with Batman. So he said, you know what? Let me fuck with Superman. Like that is unfathomable to even think like this dude.
Let me go fuck with a god, basically.
You know what I'm saying?
But
let me go
break him. Right? And that's what's so interesting about the story because
to think about the concept
to Batman, it was Superman who broke.
Right.
Yeah.
Like to see him say
that's even the developers when they talked about the actual game, they were like, and even when they took it from a comic concept and they got with the artist, they were talking about how, the Joker's mentality was, let me see if Superman can do what Batman would never do. You know what I mean?
Let me see kill me.
Yeah, if he would actually go past that level.
When you're that pure, when you're that high, the fall is farther.
Yeah, because at the same time, Joker at that time felt as though, like, I've done everything I can possibly do in life, so death is nothing to me. You know what I mean?
The darkness in Batman was what kept him from crossing that line.
Yeah.
Right.
And Superman didn't have that darkness in him to kind of protect him from
He had never been tested at that level.
But to see him fall like that, bro, that broke me. I'm like, damn. And then he loves, Clark and Bruce, they're best friends, bro. So I think it felt like Clark felt like Bruce didn't have his back with just getting rid of one bad guy, one person that has killed so many people, he just killed your godson. You're gonna be the godfather. He just killed your godson.
And Snyder carried that over into his, because that was the whole thing, was that that Bruce failed to save Lois.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, man,
that's what we did get the
had
concept
ripples,
of
man.
injustice.
It inspired a lot.
Dude,
good shit.
That story is deep, bro. What a game and book.
Jedi, what's your 4? We're almost
okay. My 4, it came out on the first version of Xbox. It was an X-Men, but it was like the prerequisite to Marvel Alliance, Ultimate Alliance, where you had the X-Men and you could
X-Men
pick
Legends.
Yeah, Legends. That's the one where you could pick the team of X-Men and go to doing
It was that one almost made my list. It was by Raven also.
Bro, X-Men Legends was fire, bro. If you didn't play it,
Beast.
Bro, you had almost every X-Men you could think of, bro. And you could put them on like a team of 4 and fight against like all the evil mutants. You fought against like oh my god.
Nightcrawler.
Trask. That game was raw, man. What a freaking good game. That was the one right before Ultimate Alliance came out. I think 2 years later.
It was before Ultimate Alliance 2.
Before Ultimate Alliance 2, yeah. Dude.
Yeah. So it was like game, if you like
that's it right there.
The Marvel Ultimate Alliance, it was the same thing but all X-Men. It was dope.
Back when we had to use memory cards.
Yeah.
Dude. That's it, right? Oh my god. Awesome. Hours playing that game, bro. Hours, dude.
Yeah.
Getting all that
it was like one of the first environmental interactive games.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So whereas like the environment became a part of everything. You can throw shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everything.
Break every window.
Yeah.
We chopping up every box.
Yeah, bro. Especially with Wolverine.
There's a power up in one of these boxes.
One of these boxes got a power up. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Especially with Wolverine. That was my main when I picked him, Cyclops, Iceman. Dude, that game right there was a part of growing up right there. Yeah. Especially for
because it was dope because it had mutants that would never make it to
Ultimate Psylocke. You had
like you weren't going to see Psylocke in the Ultimate Alliance
right
game, so you got to play as her.
Right. Nightcrawler, all them was on that. Iceman. That game was amazing, bro. And I think we had to fight Onslaught at some point in that game, right? If I remember right.
So yeah,
because he kidnapped Professor X or something. Yeah, you had to fight Onslaught in that game. That game was one of my freaking old times right there, man.
Yeah, that game was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, bro. Marvel Legends. They need to remake that, bro.
I know, right? You need to do that again. Brendan, what's your 4?
Another recent one, just because I think that they're crushing it right now in the modern era. Specifically, it's one of my all-time favorite game studios, Insomniac. And so this was literally
Spider-Man.
the first fucking game that I fired up on my PS5. Miles Morales.
Yeah.
This game, the only reason why it's not number 1 on my list is because it's kind of like half a game. It's fully fleshed out. Like the story, it feels complete. The gameplay, the world it's a full New York City for you to explore. But in comparison to its predecessor, the 2018 SpiderMan game, it's only about a half it's about like half of the length of that game, or even a little bit less. But the graphic fidelity in this game is just amazing.
Unbelievable, man.
Swinging through New York in this game is so much fun, not just for how great New York looks and feels, but also the fact that Miles handles completely differently than Peter does from the first game.
Yep.
It doesn't feel like you're just swinging around with a different skin, right? It feels like, and if you look at the way Miles's hands and arms like splay out and stuff, and how he rolls and flips through the air, he feels and handles completely different. they did a good job. This is supposed to be a kid who's got this great power, but he's new to using it, and he's got to figure out how. And so it feels a little bit more wild and a little less controlled than Peter. Like I said, the graphics are on point. I really dug the story. I think the relationship he has with his mom is beautiful. I like the story elements of how they set it up and how he comes into Harlem. All the different suits in this game are so much fun, just like in its predecessor. I love the fact that you can be in the animated suit from the Into the Spider-Verse movie, but also that there's a frame rate option that allows it to feel like the animation style of the movie, like his movements can be like kind of jittery and stuff. The tracksuit, the black, red, and white, it's all time. That's my favorite one in that game. That's my favorite Miles suit. But we got so many cool suits in that game. So many that we're getting hot toys for.
Are they getting more?
We only got one so far. There's still the 2020 suit, which looks like the Daft Punk kind of
So they're making more.
That and a couple others coming, and I'm sure they'll announce one or two more. But that game, also the actor that they got, Najee, I can't remember his last name, but to play Miles, that dude just crushed it. He did such a good job as Miles in that game. Gameplay mechanic wise, story wise, graphic wise, soundtrack wise, the number of collectibles and suits, the game is just so damn fun to play. I've platinumed it, but I've played start to finish. I think I've finished that whole game at least 4 or 5 times, and it's only been out for like a year and a half. And I'll definitely be playing it. I guarantee you I'll play that again at least once or twice more before Spider-Man 2 comes out on the PS5. So absolutely love that game. I think it is one of the best video games, one of the best open world video games made, but one of the best superhero ones for sure.
That was dope.
Leia, what was your 4? I think you muted.
You're muted.
It was it was very close. It was very close to being the first, but it couldn't overtake my number 1, of course. But of course this was the iteration that kind of sparked it all for what we came to know as Miles Morales, and of course that's just the Spider-Man PS4 game, bro. Like, literally,
that's me too. That's me too,
bro. Like,
breathtaking.
Just it was such a compelling story, bro.
It's like playing a movie, bro.
Yes, bro. And it's like you can smell New York, bro. Like you can actually feel and smell New York City, bro, in this game. Like just how polished it was, like just it's literally. And then we got this suit, bro. This suit is by far one of the hottest suits I've ever seen.
My favorite hot toy, like my whole collection, I swear to God, is that suit from that game. That's the one I will never get rid of. It's my all-time favorite Spider-Man suit now.
Some people miss this one, bro. I don't know how.
I didn't.
I don't know how, bro. Like this
I'm so
one
happy
when
I got
it
this
dropped,
suit, bro.
I was like pre-order.
Hell
this suit was fire.
The
bro.
gameplay, man. When we got to play this, it was like they took elements of like Arkham Asylum and stuff like that, like when you're up on the gargoyles or the rafters and stuff. But they didn't just make it feel like, okay, I'm just doing what Batman did. Like it felt like Spidey. The combat in this, everything. You felt like Spider-Man, not like, this is just like a generic game skin and you're just beating guys up and it's supposed to be Spider-Man. You felt like Spidey.
Yeah.
But see,
there definitely was some things that felt like it borrowed from the Arkham games, but in the best way. And it's kind of like where, this would be perfect for this too. So like, let's expand upon it and make it work for Spider-Man, because literally just going up to the rafters and doing the stealth mode stuff and swinging around the city. You could, game aside, you could spend all day just swinging around the city.
Right, when you first got this game and you just swung around a little bit for the first time, were you not like, oh my god, that like I spent hours just swinging, not even doing any, just swinging.
I remember getting my phone, recording
Me too.
myself swinging around
Me
because
too.
I couldn't believe what I was
Me
singing,
too.
and I wanted to post it on Facebook to see if everyone else, like, was I dreaming?
Bro, and they borrowed some of that web swing stuff from the Raimi game.
Look at
with
this,
with the double web swing and the slingshot swing.
The opening
from
with
the Raimi
Kingpin,
game,
man. The opening with Kingpin,
man,
that whole thing. When you finish that, you're like, oh my god, is this what the whole game is going to be like?
This game is going to be dope.
Dude.
Yeah.
I almost feel like the city is better in 4 than in Miles, in a weird way.
Oh yeah.
You said the city?
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me or if I have to adjust my settings on my PS5. But I feel like
this city is better than the Miles Morales city, I think.
The thing is,
this is the intro one. That's the first
game. The setting on this one, because you got to also think about the season. When we had with Miles, it was wintertime.
It's winter,
There's
snow.
Cold,
it just feels different.
So it kind of just felt different. I love Miles because, like I said, it was a Christmas time type of special thing for me. And it just felt like it. It gave me that element. But and that's probably why it actually won me over when I actually say it was my number one. I mean,
the number of suits in this game, dude.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. I have them all in October.
I have all the suits. I have all the suits in this game.
It was so. Look at this, bro. Like just the graphics alone, bro. Like how it looks. Like
and the fact that they went with Martin Lee too, I really dug that. The fact, obviously you have Ock, you have Doc Ock, but Doc Ock is like. You know what, Doc Ock in this is basically the Two-Face from The Dark Knight, the Nolan movie, because like when the whole time when I was watching The Dark Knight, I knew that Harvey Dent was going to become Two-Face, but you liked Aaron Eckhart's portrayal of Harvey so much Dent. That it was you found yourself, even though you knew that he was going to turn to Harvey, that he was going to turn to Two-Face, and that you wanted to see Two-Face, you also felt kind of bad, and it was a tragic downfall. And it was the same thing in this. You liked Octavius in this game. He's a likable character, and you're like, oh man, I know what's going to happen to him though, and it's not going to end well. And then when it does, it's like that gut punch. It's an emotional gut punch.
The same thing from Mr. Negative too, bro.
Yeah, dude. They didn't just make them like 2-dimensional characters. Like
they were good dudes.
There's real character there. There's real, and the way that they relate, the way that they tie him into Miles' dad and his death, and Miles, there are layers to this, and it shows appreciation for the source material. It shows that Insomniac appreciates the character of Spidey and his history.
That's why
this was like a movie, bro.
They would have actually released the figures, the actual villains from this game, bro, because it was so worth it. It was so worth it, bro.
Scorpion,
it was literally worth it.
And Rhino and
Rhino
and Electro and Vulture. The boss fights in this game, dude, were so much fun to play.
Hell yeah.
Electro was a
Spider-Man
pain
2
in the
game
ass.
is woo.
And they felt important from the beginning of the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Electro was the one I had problems with. That he was a pain in the ass. Going from like power tower to power tower to power tower. Like, oh my god, just take this ass whooping. Just stay still.
But such a good game.
Yeah, great
Benny,
game.
what
bro.
was your number 5, bro?
My number 4. I think we're still on 4.
Oh, you're still on 4? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. My number 4, and I'm gonna make this quick because it was mentioned earlier, but Arkham Asylum, and I just go. I just quickly reiterate the points made. I think Brendan had picked it. Just the stealth mode and the detective stuff. The first Batman game now is really truly a great game. It's actually, in my opinion, one of the first amazing, DC licensed games that we had from that company as well.
Oh yeah.
And then just it wasn't so much. It was just a perfect storm of everything.
Hell yeah.
Everything that they did right. I
Bro,
sent you that picture.
This right here.
I sent you that picture because that was my favorite. I sent you that
Hell
picture.
Yeah.
That was
the
my
nightmare
favorite,
scene. Yeah. The Scarecrow nightmare scene.
You played through a whole section that was just on his fucking head. And then when it came back, it was just like, when we watched that scene in with Mysterio and SpiderMan, I'm like, they must have played Arkham Asylum because that was straight out of the Scarecrow sequence. So
but the way that scene started,
oh my god, with his parents and everything, I was just like,
that was dark.
And I loved that they had John Noble as the voice of Scarecrow in this and then the subsequent games. He did such a great job.
Yeah,
it was so heavy. It was terrifying.
This sequence was heavy. It was dark.
I mean,
it
was everything about this game was so perfectly executed.
You
from
failed me, Bruce.
From Conroy and Hamill to
failed
the
us.
tone. Everything was dark. The gameplay was on point. Everything felt perfect all the way through. It was just a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So I don't. What more can you really say about the Arkham game, especially starting off with how it jumped off? So Arkham Asylum is my 4. I don't need to sell Arkham Asylum. That game is damn near perfect. So that was my 4. Jedi Kid, what was your 5?
My 5, we already talked about it. 2018 SpiderMan. Everything about that game was just on point. As far as like the storyline, I loved the mentorship that Octavius gave Peter. That. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad.
Okay.
But like, it was just to him, like being like another father figure to him. It was sad to see him turn. We all know it was the machine's fault, but I think he really cared about Peter, kind of like a son, kind of sort of. The same thing with the Negative Man, bro. That was another one this guy had a troubled childhood, and his mutation made him into this freaking, ruthless like gangster leader. You know what I'm saying? Like that those two characters, bro. The dynamics of the game, the freaking the amazing graphics.
This sequence is crazy,
bro.
This
like
sequence is
said,
incredible, bro.
You could look at this game and like smell New York City, or like you're in New York City, bro. So that's definitely like my number 5, bro. Like number 1. I'm sorry, but this game was just breathtaking. Look at in the helicopter, bro. All the controls and everything is there. Like that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flawless to me.
Come on,
9.5 out of 10.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's a marvel. It's
almost perfect. It's almost perfect. Yeah, 9.5 out of 10.
Dope. Yeah, that was breathtaking. The whole time you were playing that game, you felt like you weren't sure if you were. How do I have this? Am I playing in the future? Like, it was such a jump from previous games.
It was still on PS4. It wasn't even on PS5 yet.
Bro, it took us back to the days where we would play games. We would actually finish the campaign, but then you want to go back and just fly around. You just want to go back. That's just what it was. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Get all the book bags.
There's just not many games that are comic book based that are like grab you like some of the more popular games. Usually that doesn't fall in the realm of the licensed games. So all right, Brendan, what was your 5?
So I was counting down from 5 to 1. So my number 1, my favorite.
That's how I've been going too.
My favorite comic book video game of all time. We just spent some consecutive time on it. It's SpiderMan 2018 from Insomniac. But I will differentiate it. I will say this. If you have not experienced it yet, or you have played it, but you want to go back, play. I mean, assuming if you have the a PS5, but even if you don't, get the remastered version, and then you have it so that you can play it on the PS5 later if you end up getting one. But the improvements that they made are really, really good. It takes a game that was already amazing, it really polishes and refines it, but it also includes the DLC. And I will tell you, if you're not like a big DLC person, the DLC for this game, the stuff with Black Cat here, the stuff with Yuri, who is the police captain from the main game, Silver Sable here,
Hammerhead was on
Hammerhead. Yep, the DLC is so much fun. They're really, really good stories, really cool gameplay elements. minus the whole thing with Screwball. She's annoying, but everything else about, and they came with additional suits, including one of my favorite recent Spider-Man hot toy releases, Cyborg Spidey. This game, the remastered one, again, if you can do it on PS5, I highly recommend it. But definitely enjoy the DLC. If you just played the main game and you haven't played the DLC, you will find a new appreciation for characters like Black Cat and Silver Sable, and the fight with Hammerhead is really, really cool. There's so much to enjoy in this game, and that's why the depth, the richness of the story, and how much there is to experience is why this was my number one over the Miles Morales game. But they're neck and neck, and this is just, it makes me so excited for the next game, the Spider-Man 2 game that they're going to do, that's going to have Miles and Peter, that we're going to see Venom, we'll see tons of new suits and villains to go up against. I love that this first game gave us the tease for what is basically going to be kind of like the Ultimate Universe version of Venom and the symbiote, where it's Norman Osborn using the symbiote to try and save Harry's life, and that's how Venom comes to be in the Ultimate Universe. They're kind of going that path, and I really, really dig it. I think this game is going to be so much fun, and it also just, because of this game and Miles, I'm so excited for Spider-Man 2. I'm so excited for Wolverine, and I am fucking desperate for Insomniac to do a Daredevil game, because they would absolutely kill it. And he is such a good character to be able to do a game in their style, and so I please God let them do that at some point. But yeah, this is the closest any of us are actually going to get to ever feeling like Spider-Man in real life. That's how visceral and how immersive this game is when you're swinging through you feel, when you're doing all those tricks in the air and stuff, man, it's something special. They really,
when he runs at the wall like that,
wall runs,
my God, that's the best.
The gameplay is so fluid.
There's absolutely something tangible about
running up the wall.
You feel it.
Yeah. Just like you feel every twist, every turn, every flip. I love the parts if you web sling yourself on the side of a building and there's like a fire escape, you go through the fire escape and it like launches you. It like the physics in this game and how they got it to feel so natural is absolutely stunning. I went up to the top of Avengers Tower, and that's a really cool thing about this. You can go and find all the spots in New York City. You can go find the Sanctum Sanctorum. You can go find the law offices of Murdoch and Nelson. I would go up to the top. You can find the Oscorp Tower. I would go up to the top of Avengers Tower and do a free fall dive and then swing at the last second right before you hit the pavement. And it's so much fun. Like, I cannot stress how amazing this is. And again, if you haven't done the DLC, do it. It will. It not only is it great fun on its own, but like it'll also bring you back and give you something new to enjoy in this game that you already played and really loved. Now, if you haven't done the DLC, man, I'm jealous because you get to experience
at least to the Black Cat
time.
story. At least the Black Cat story.
Yes, the city that never sleeps or whatever. I can't remember what it's called, but like it's with the Black Cat stuff. It is really really cool.
She has Peter shook.
The stuff with Yuri from the main game is tragic, and it kind of I wonder if that's going to carry over into the main game of the next one. But yeah, don't sleep on it. It's so much fun. You got to do the DLC.
Hell yeah.
Leia, what's your fifth and number one pick?
Well, I think everybody pretty much already knows what my fifth and number one pick was. I mean, and it's because I can't explain that there's never been, outside of X-Men, there's never been a hero that I loved so much more. Just every time, you know, and on the simple fact that he's still freshly like a fairly new character, you know, to the universe itself, but it's just the impact, and on top of that, it's so relatable. Come on, man, it's Miles. It's so much. I love this game so much, bro, that I bought 2 figures. I have 2 of these figures because I love the figure so much. It was my figure of the year, but this was actually my game of the year because I love the simple fact that, you know, this is someone, you know, he's struggling with the simple fact that, you know, he has love for a character that is a villain, you know, and he has to face that. You know what I mean? Yeah, not even just his uncle, but you know what I mean? You know, an anti-hero of, you know, a girl that he loves so much. You know what I mean? That, you know, he has to face in the end. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you know, we're talking about his interaction with, you know, of course, you know, his family, his best friend, and just the atmosphere. And then the simple fact that, yo, this cat's walking around with Tim boots in a triple fat goose in New York City on Christmas time, bro. That's what I'm feeling like. That's home for me. You know what I mean?
And
so
the
like
soundtrack. Soundtrack, dude.
And the soundtrack was just actually incredible, and it's so festive, but it's mainly diverse. It's cultural. It's history. You know what I mean? We're talking about my Cuban side, my African American side. Like everything about this game just spoke volumes. The art, you can smell it. The scenery, like even this right here, like everything about. Yeah,
this scene right here was crazy because where Spider-Man PS4 felt like Spider-Man in the sky, this felt like felt like New York in the sky. This
bro, it felt like us doing around Comic-Con, bro. This is us in Comic-Con.
This is
was like being home, bro.
Yeah, 2018 felt like New York in the sky. This like felt like New York on the street. That was,
and that's why
the city.
That's why later on when they say like that's not, you know, Harlem Spider-Man, that's Spider-Man. That's our Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was earned early in the game when you see him walking through the neighborhood and experiencing all the culture in there. It was earned that way. This bridge sequence early on in the game was so damn cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro. Like this is Mark.
Even just him hanging out at home with his mom.
Yeah. That's
dude.
it. Yeah. Like that's it, bro. Like that's it. And just basically having like the side missions. You know what I mean? Like this different sequences.
And his apartment felt real. It didn't feel like some huge
you're right.
Like he couldn't
all
live
the pictures, the cooking.
It felt like a real crib.
Yeah, bro.
Hell
Lael, I just sent you. I just in the private chat. I just sent a link to a piece that I've pre-ordered, a Miles piece. That as soon as that comes in, I guarantee you, I'm going to be playing this game again that day.
The statue?
Because no, this is a print. But it's the HD aluminum. It's the HD aluminum style print.
Yeah.
And because I have the Children of the Atom X-Men one, and actually tomorrow my Trial of Magneto HD aluminum print is coming in. But this is another one of Miles that I pre-ordered that I absolutely loved, and like the metallic kind of like feel of the print for this particular one. Dude, it's I cannot wait. I'm waiting for them to do a really good Peter one so I can have those two together and do like a whole Spidey display in front of them with those two on the wall.
Oh shit!
This print, dude.
Oh shit!
The HD aluminum of this print, it's
dope.
Like the red. It pops on like dope. on the sneakers, on the hood, the chest. It pops and just looks so damn good. I love the way they did like the texture on the webbing and stuff. I absolutely love this piece. I can't wait.
See, I might buy another Miles, bro, because
bro, I got
the
two.
Regular one.
Oh, the hot. You have. It's so.
I have the Hot Toys one, but I got the two Young Rich ones too, with all the Nikes and everything else.
Yep.
The one in the Spidey suit and the one in like the regular clothes. Yeah, I want to buy another Hot Toys one to put the Jordans on the Hot Toys one. The other
that Hot Toy Miles is like I've said that like I mean the advanced suit is my favorite all time suit, but as far as engineering, as far as articulation, materials, and just the general body and stuff, that Miles classic suit is the best Spider-Man in 6 scale that Hot Toys has ever done.
Yeah,
bro. And the thing is, I forgot, and I'm just like, yo, Jedi, I forgot that you can actually remove and take the feet off of that classic suit and replace it with Jay's. Like I forgot.
They said once you take them off, you can't put them back on. That's why I'm getting another one. I'm leaving
Oh,
one
really?
regular, and I'll buy the other one and put the Jordans on from the Young Rich one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't
That's what
tried
I'm
it
gonna
yet
do.
because, like I said, I have the Jordans that I have. Like I said, I got I got 2 pairs of 1/6 scale Jordans,
Yeah.
from Comic Sanctorum
Mm-hmm.
for the Into the Spider-Verse miles.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it for that just to see if it'll work, and I think it will because when I studied this figure, I'm like, okay, I think that you can remove those shoes, like you can. So it's going to be interesting to see how I do it, but I can't wait, bro. I just
Yeah.
they just need to hurt wait. But yeah, that long story
A dope
short,
figure, bro.
Vinny,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my number one, bro. Like it just the atmosphere. I mean, just mainly being able to fly around, and it's this. It's like you feel the same way that you would actually feel, with the Spider-Man game, with the regular, the first gen. But with this, it's just, bro. Like, I mean, look at this, bro. Like, I mean, literally,
Yeah.
it's interactive all the way through the environment, and basically, being close to the river, bro. Like, it's
And he just
man.
feels like Miles. He feels different than Peter.
Yeah, hell yeah. This game was so
I
fun,
agree.
bro. It is. And to see basically now, once we get the next Spider-Man game, that both of them are back together facing, you know what I mean? Or, actually Venom's in it as well. But I can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
I
bro.
want to
Like,
see how the
sequence-
differences plays out, man. That's going to be so sick to see.
And the thing is, it's like they break your heart, bro, because it broke my heart to see him go up again. So he didn't want to, but he had to make a choice, and he didn't have a choice in the end, bro. So it was phenomenal. That's again number one. That's my number one, bro.
Definitely a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I knew everybody would have Spidey covered. I probably figured Arkham too, but my final was already touched on as well, and that was the X-Men Arcade. That was just kind of like the one of the jump offs for me as far as just gaming in general, because I mean I didn't have games too early, so I didn't really start gaming until I was like 10, 11, and that joint came out like when I was like 14. And it means so much to me from like a nostalgia perspective, from just hanging out at the arcades and just, that was online gaming before online gaming. Me and my friends just at the arcades and then meeting other kids you didn't even know, and then just bonding over, this iconic arcade 6-player
Hell yeah
masterpiece. And I remember like I'm running where I'm at now, and I've always promised myself when I get my crib and I'm set, I'm not moving, I have to have one of these in the future.
I'm gonna get that.
I gotta have one of these at one point in my life. It's just the way that you played too was an experience. So it was something so different, because nobody had ever seen a 6-player arcade game before. That was crazy. The art on the arcade cabinet was just so amazing. Everything about it was just, I mean, that was just maybe a year or two after I had started collecting comics, and X-Men was like, of course, all of our shit back then, and still is to this day. But that was the genesis, or for lack of a better term, of what the comic pop culture, drug
turned into.
You know what I mean? Like that shit was just it was something else. I didn't at the time realize what had started with me, and that was one of the things that jumped it off, man. That game was just so dope, so crazy, and it was like getting to pick those different characters. Like you didn't even always pick Wolverine. Sometimes you pick Nightcrawler just to switch it up and do some different shit. So I felt like just from a nostalgic perspective of the different things that game meant to me growing up, that's definitely my numero uno. And like I said, I definitely I have the arcade one up where it has that in it, but it ain't the 6-player John, which I gotta eventually have.
Bro, you could play 6 players at one time, dog.
I mean,
that was like
we never even that blew our minds, yo.
One time,
that blew our minds.
One time, bro, and you can all advance at the same time if you made it. Like straight up.
Yep.
Like that was the dopest part of that game, man.
Yeah,
but
it was just iconic. So so that I appreciate everybody's input. This is like
we gotta do this again.
It's a whole nother part of this genre that we all love. So it was dope hearing what everybody's picks were and shared experiences through these games because we all like everybody here has read comics growing up, but we all play video games too. So that's a big part of like what made us who we are. So it's definitely.
I love the fact that everybody had love for Spider-Man.
Yeah, no doubt. We all, how could you not? It's
bro. I've loved Spider-Man since I was young, bro. Since I used to draw, it was all it was. It's just constant drawing, bro. Like
drawing Spidey all the time, man.
And then hold up, I just have to do this, Brendan. I'm sorry.
Oh no!
He better grab a figure. He better grab a figure.
He's about to do some silly shit.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no! Okay, all right.
Is that Alex Ross?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's Alex Ross Spider-Man. Where the hell did you get that?
Yep.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Is that from Sideshow?
Your boy Butt Naked blessed me with this piece, bro. And yo, like literally, it's like a tear. That Indian tear rolled down my face when I got this piece.
Is that a Sideshow, Alex Ross?
Nah.
No, it's not from Sideshow. I got it from his site.
From Alex Ross, bro. Like this
Oh
piece,
my God.
Woo, bro, like it's classic in its essence, bro. Like this piece is phenomenal, bro. I can't. If you gotta have a love for Spider-Man to appreciate this classic version, bro. And then Alex Ross, just in every element, and even basically, what I love about this piece is how it's not just the figure, but it's what he chose to do with the background to give it like an old print, like an old rusted print,
dirty old white.
Yeah, bro, and it's so phenomenal the way they did it, bro. I like this piece, bro.
Yes, indeed.
And this thing is, you have
That's
to be a
fire,
Spider-Man
bro.
fan to appreciate, bro. Definitely.
Yes, indeed.
That's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
As soon as I saw the eyes, I was like, Alex Ross.
Moral of the story is play Spider-Man games and buy Alex Ross
Spider-Man
art.
games. Like Alex
That will
Ross.
make you happy.
Hell yeah.
That's it,
Bro.
That's it.
Yeah. Yo, he said, I wouldn't even touch it. Hey, bro, Corey, I'm with you, bro.
Put some white gloves on or something.
Yo, hell no. I would never let anybody touch it. Like, yo, Joe Mama, that's a hell of a gift. I'm saying,
Yes, sir.
You know. Yo, that piece is fucking phenomenal, bro.
That's awesome.
And the motherfucker, every time he says shit, he'd be like, Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday. And I'm like, what? And he gets the notifications before I receive the shit. So I got to walk outside and see this big ass tube. And I'm like, oh, shit.
I got the email, the tracking that said delivered. So I texted him. I was like, happy birthday. What are you talking about?
What the fuck?
And he goes out to his door and he just opens the door and there it is. And it's like, I'm good
that's
like that.
awesome.
Come on, yeah. But,
That's dope.
but it was a great discussion tonight,
dope.
man. Like next week. So here's the thing is, and tell me if y'all think this is cool. This is what I want to do next week. Because we always talk about the things we love. Can we talk about the top 5 comic book series that we hated?
Oh, I'm ready.
Series?
I'm ready.
The comic book, the top 5.
See, I don't like how fast Jedi was like, oh, I can give you the shit I hate right away. Like, boom. He was like, I'm ready. I can go right now. Like,
Let me say
that makes me nervous.
Top 5. The top 5
right now.
I kind of forget the shit I hate.
Nope. Top 5 because it's going.
Top 5 that comic book arcs that we don't like.
That you did not like how it either ended or just the pacing of it. The top 5 that you hated.
I'm saving it.
Like
top 5.
literally. Top 5 that you hated. And that's going to be an interesting discussion. Everybody tune in next week. Top 5 books that you hated. The top 5 runs that you hated. That you thought you would love. But when you read it, it was like, "Oh, this is soft as shit."
We gotta find a balance. We gotta split or something. Because if we're literally that means we're just literally gonna have a list of 20 things that we fucking hate.
Yep.
And that's gonna be a whole show. There's gotta be some positivity in it. We gotta mix. Nope. We gotta get something else in there.
Nope.
Nope. I'm just. You go, bro. You might even have nightmares after this episode, bro.
Arts that we hate.
You're gonna have nightmares after this.
I'm trying to enjoy a can of ginger ale, and you're trying to open a fucking can of worms. That's what's happening right now.
Hell no.
We hated. It is
top 5 most.
He's not going to be able to narrow it down to 5.
Who? Jedi.
He's going to be. Man.
But you can't be doing that shit live today. You can't.
He's already started.
I already got 5 already done.
Bro, you
That's
can't.
like pointing the camera at him and saying, "Okay, just talk for a couple hours on what's wrong with WB."
You can't have
ready.
the 5 today,
ready.
bro.
Oh well, I'm
Yeah.
ready to go next Monday. I'm ready.
Top 5 next
I'm
week.
already
Everybody tune in. Top 5 runs that we've hated, that you hated in comics.
we
Top
hated.
5.
Mhm.
I know
five.
my 5, and it may surprise people, but yes, top 5 that I hated.
No.
So
I got my
yeah,
top 5.
you got to run through
I'm
it. It's
set.
gonna make you think. It's gonna make your butt
Yep.
pucker too. Like seriously,
set.
you got to think about it. You got to really think about it.
I'm set.
Everybody,
It's
think-
player haters ball week next week.
player haters
Next
ball
week.
next week. Top 5 runs that we hated. Straight up. So
I'm ready.
Hey,
haven't even read
the
you
only
what
thing
you
that's
did.
going to take you out of
hate
it,
you.
the only thing that's going to take you out of it, Brendan, is your Coolio references. That's the only thing. Justice
That's
for
what's gonna
Coolio.
save him.
Everybody, exactly. That's the only thing that's going to
Sure,
save
I
you.
can get it.
That's gonna save him.
But everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for basically being here. It was a dope discussion tonight. Thank you, Vinny, for actually coming up with the concept for this. We should have did this a long
Yeah, I
time ago.
appreciate that, bro.
But
This
definitely, it was dope. It's just taking us down memory lane.
Yeah.
As always, Vinny, I'm going to start with you, bro. What you got coming up, man, next on Vincent Dunn Art?
All right. I am looking forward to getting. I have a bunch of Star Wars prints that I have ready to come back for the printers. I should be getting up on the site by tomorrow, the next day, the latest. So I should have a whole bunch of prints done for that, and then I'll have everything basically that I did this winter already all done and printed out, and then I'll shift gears and focus on some new pieces that I'm going to do. But for the next few weeks, I'll probably be just focused on getting the business back up and running with spring season upon us. So a lot of the other job shifting gears to that. So I'm looking forward to
Hold on.
that.
Let's correct that. It's recruiting season.
Well, it's always recruiting season. That's a constant. But it's easier in the spring and summer. But we just got snow yesterday and then 60 degrees today. So
And it melted all that shit away.
So it's one of those things where, you don't like the weather, give it a minute. But definitely recruiting season 2. That's time consuming. So that'll take up some time. More catching up on reading, and I got a bunch of shows I eventually got to catch up on. I put everything on hold in with that last piece, so I'm behind on a whole bunch of different shows that I started and I got to finish up. So I got to finish up Raising Dion. I got to finish up Children of Wolves. So I Raised by Wolves. So I got a bunch of shows to catch up on too. But other than that, just keeping it rolling.
Hell yeah. If you haven't already, follow Vincent Dunn Art on Instagram. Come on, man. His store information is there as well if you want to purchase some pieces. Come on, man. It's all day, every day. Jedi Pimp, what's going on, brother? What you got coming up, man?
Work and more work. Then I got to finish up. I'm watching Last Kingdom. I love that show. I just finished up Viking Valhalla. That was dope. That Valhalla Viking was pretty dope. I watched that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for what am I waiting for now? The Golden Armor Wonder Woman to come. I got that coming. I got the deluxe with the big wings. I'm gonna probably have her out on top of the case. I know you're showing off, Lyle. Don't. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And
you don't want to see it. You don't want.
I do want to see it.
If
you got it out, is it on the case already? You got it on top of the case? The deluxe? Yes, go get it. And that's what I'm waiting for. Oh, I just got the Captain Marvel. I got rid of the old one. I sold the old one.
Yep.
Yeah, because the in-game one is so much better, yo. The face and everything. Hold on. This one, let me see.
This one.
This thing is such a better figure than. Oh my god! That's how it looks with the wings open. I cannot wait, bro. I can't wait. That's amazing, dog. I can't wait. See this thing, but this. I'm so glad I got rid of the deluxe one with the cat. The face looks so much better. So I was happy to get this thing.
Yeah,
But
the overall design for this one is a lot better.
yeah, way better, bro.
Have you guys gotten your Corvus Glaive yet?
No, I still haven't got mine yet. I'm still
Dude,
waiting for
don't
that.
sleep on this, man. Look at this. This is badass.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's how I'm gonna have it on top of the cabinet.
Wonder
I
Woman.
can't put it in no cabinet. That is amazing, bro.
She's gonna
What is
look
that,
good
like
with
3
the
feet?
SSR Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah, the so Kingdom Come Superman would be dope. Oh my god, bro. Now, do they bend at all, or they just out like that?
Nah, they don't. They don't. I mean, the thing is with this figure, bro, you got to be
Uh-huh.
sort of careful with it. It's not too careful, but you got to be careful with it. But its
Uh-huh.
presence alone, like you can put it in certain poses, like I can, but
You don't want to chip the paint.
yeah, you don't want to chip the paint. You wanna
Oh,
be
is it
careful.
really? Is the paint brittle on there?
Yeah, well,
Is it
no,
kinda
but
brittle?
you know what? No, not really. Not really.
Okay.
It's still clean.
Okay.
It's definitely clean. But
You still just
gotta
want to be
careful with it.
cautious.
Yeah.
And you leave the helmet on her head. I like the helmet on when they have her hair out, bro. The helmet looks so
Yeah,
much
be
better.
careful though. Be careful not to chip the paint on the head sculpt, and you got to be careful how you put it on. So that's why I got
That's so
two. I
dope.
got one with it off and one with
Mhm.
it on. Yeah,
Yeah, that's dope, bro. I love
That's
that one.
wild. Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, definitely, it's a dope piece, bro.
That's definitely Kingdom Come.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I cannot wait for that, bro.
Anyway, man, if you haven't already, everybody out there, follow Jedi Kid on Instagram. See his incredible his collection. Also, you can witness it on Figure Flex Friday, every Friday,
Yeah, man.
around 7 o'clock. So he'll have his pieces there. Butt
So
naked,
much better.
my man, Bucky naked, bro. What you got going on, man?
I'm just gonna try and do a lot of reading before I travel for a client gig for the first time in a while. So I'll be flying down to DC over the weekend and early part of next week. So it's been a while since I've flown for work, so it'll be interesting. It's been
That's
a couple
cool.
years. So yeah, I'm doing that. Good paying gig. It'll be fun. My best friend lives down in DC, so I'll get to and it's actually his organization, his company that I'm doing this with. So I'll be able to hang out with him. So that's cool. And then yeah, I just if you haven't, like I said at the top, if you haven't checked out a lot of like what Marvel dropped last week for comics, the first issue of this new Punisher run is fucking awesome. I really think this is going to be a good line, so definitely like don't sleep on this new Punisher. Check that out. In Devil's Reign, we're getting to the end, and this last issue, the second to last issue, was amazing, and where it's going to lead is going to be some pretty cool shit for Daredevil, Elektra, Kingpin, and the rest of the heroes in this in general. This week, the biggest thing, we've got some more like X books coming out, some more Spidey. But the cool thing this week is the kickoff, the #1 of the new Carnage book. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing where they're gonna take that book. Other than that, I've been binging the shit out of that show Yellowstone. And that show is really, really good.
I've got
And
to
so
watch that. I
now
put it on my list.
it's good. So I just caught up. There are
watch
4
that.
seasons. I just caught up and finished the 4th season. So now, so like the first 3 are on the Peacock app. The 4th season will come on that later this month, but the 4th season is on Hulu right now. So I
Is that
finished
Kevin
the first
Costner,
3.
right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
really,
I'm about
really
to
good
say
show.
that.
So I finished the first 3 on Peacock, and then I finished the 4th season on Hulu. And the prequel, it's actually Paramount that made it, so it's weird that they were on those 2 apps. But they made the prequel show 1883 with Sam Elliott and Tim McGraw and Faith Hill and stuff. And it's like an old Western like prequel to that Yellowstone show. And I'm like 3 episodes into that. There are like 10 episodes on Paramount Plus, and that's really good. So yeah, I've just been kind of binging that, some shows and some books. And then yeah, just looking forward to the shit show that will be all the things that we dislike about random comic arcs next week. That'll be interesting.
I'm ready.
I can't wait.
My
If y'all
gun's already
haven't
loaded.
already, follow Brendan the Max Effort
My gun's
Collection and Real Raleigh on Instagram. Come on, man. Look, I'm telling y'all, it's going to be a great discussion. I cannot wait. If y'all haven't already, follow the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel on Instagram and YouTube. We have great concepts and interesting conversations over here. Comic Book Talk with Friends today. Now, remember, this Wednesday is not going to be Say What. It's going to be on Thursday instead because, like I said, I have a concert to go to. Me and Tulia, we got date night that night, so we're going to a concert. So we switched to Thursday. So it's, Say What.
See the Milli Vanilli reunion?
Nah, actually, it's just a comic show. So we're gonna go see. That's funny. But yeah, that's Friday, of course, back here for, you already know, Figure Flex Friday, which is a hit. Love that show. Sunday is going to be the it's called the Collectors Lounge International. That's at 12 o'clock. And then, of course, we have Take Your Position at 4:30. So stay tuned for that. Again, follow everybody's channel or everybody's Instagram page on here, man. We love y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. Real quick, I'm just going to say a couple of names real quick. I'm sorry, Minnie, I can't go through that, man. I can't pull it up. We got Real Raleigh in the building. Thank you for coming through. My guy, Real Raleigh, the Wonder Twins. They got their channel up. I can't wait for that. Braden, thank you for coming through. Loco Lou. We got Mark 7. He said throw Vinny's piece up. He wants to see Vinny's piece up again. So let me get that prep while I actually go through it, so at least everybody can take a look at that piece, because it is definitely special. It is going to be something that you're going to want to actually get. If Vinny does some prints of this piece, man. Like,
it's already in the store, so
it's already in the store. So there you go.
And that
Vincent Dunn Art
is
basically there.
IG.
Yeah, so definitely go through and get that piece. Check it out, man. It's always dope to have pieces like this on the show, on the channel, original pieces, dope pieces, bro. So again, so let me see what else we got. OG fan with Star Wars was just Star Wars. Loco Lou, by God, Loco Lou, Figure Flex Lou, A Corey, thank you for coming through. A Corey, definitely love having you here, man. OG fan with Star Wars was just Star Wars, definitely thank you for basically being here. Amber May, Mark 7, of course, thank you for being here, Amber. Latoya T, baby, I'll be upstairs in a minute. I know you're ready to drink some tea and cuddle, so I'll be up there with you. Ben Cave, Joe Mama 007. Let me see who else we got. Who else? We got a couple in here, man. We got Local Vibes was in the building. Thank you for coming through. Jedi Dick Sensei. That's funny. Thank you for coming through. I love that name. That is God. Funny.
That's hilarious.
Just Star Wars. Thank you for coming through. Justin McFly, thank you for being here. Eddie Rodriguez, my guy, thank you for being here, Eddie. Let's see who else we got. Oh man, we had quite a few. Luminar was in the building. Thank you for being here, Luminar. Love having you around. Definitely. I Am Legend 0000 Omar in the building. Let's see who else we have here. Barrett. We had SpongeBob Square Balls was in the building. Thank you for basically being here, man. Let's see who else we have. Max Geekdom, my guy, Max Geekdom. Thank you for basically coming through. AJ Agrusa. Let's see here. Who else, man? Who else decided to stop? DJ N. Thank you for basically being here, man. As always, love having you here. And yes, man, everybody who stopped through, if I didn't say Filthy Yoda, the Thor 2941, CT 603, thank you for being here. K Carter 27, thank you for being here. Calvin Williams, Dr. Jones, Two Ferns, pretty much everybody who came through. Daniel Welfare IG, thank you for basically being here, man. If you haven't already, man, subscribe to this channel. We bring great content. We love having you guys here. Thank you for being here. Till next week, peace and love. Be kind. Read your comics. Stay geeky. You know that. All the good stuffs, man. That's where it lies. From us to all y'all, we love y'all. Until next week, we'll check y'all out again. Keep it fly. Keep it safe. Stay humble. Collect those comics. Come on, man. Comic book talk with friends all day, every day. Let's go. That was the wrong one. that was almost the wrong one. I was so ready to go.